Gio's a little muted on the crowd mics, but you can see there's a huge crowd there. So sorry, I've had to sort out some tech issues on the side. Our first damage of the game goes to that bot lane there. There we go, much better. Just had a quick change of that. The summon is being blown in bot side back and forth. Heal blown for Kyle, nothing on the other side so far, so not back and forth. God, it's not a good start today, is it? See this Nymaera stacking up that Q, wants to get that auto attack reset down. Jaculov not quite able to do so. Of course, Hope versus Jaculov, a matchup that we've come to very much appreciate here in the LPL. Fought so many title fights against each other between 2020 and 2022. At top esports JDG rivalry. Well, it was Loken at first, actually, for JDG, but then Hope came in later. Tarzan going towards mid lane. If they can get the stun, it would help lots. Flash away. Cream not stunned close enough to the Neferi, or far enough away from his tower for it to make a difference. Has either team locked worlds yet? No, not technically. So, if anyone's legend win, they will lock worlds. They'll have enough championship points to go through as second seed, even if they lose the finals. If top esports win, then anyone's legend will win if top esports win the whole thing. Because they will, they will not go, rather, because BLG will go through as second seed. However, if top esports go and win this series but lose the finals, then anyone's legend will make it through as second seed. Top esports have to win the whole thing to auto-qualify. They can't auto-qualify by, going through his second place. Flash forwards, trying to get that knockback under tower, and Hung's taking aggro. It's 2 tower shots. Do they have enough damage afterwards? I don't think so. It's a summoner blown. Barrier used by Hope. Oh my god, Kyle opportunistic. Working very well there. Trading the summoners out, but that's a massive win for anyone's legend bot lane. Top esports, they need their summoners a little more than anyone's legend on the other side. Hope just trying to clear out as best he can. Down almost 10 CS. Tarzan heading top side now. 369. Not really sure he's going to be getting out of this one safely. Wants to make sure he can get away from Tarzan, but I think that one's a bit of a pipe dream. Jumping forwards, flashing, auto, Q, second Q. Where is it? There it is. Flash from Sion for an extra auto attack. And Neferi will get the first blood of this semi-final series. I missed your voice on your vibe. Glad you had a break, though. Thank you. That's very kind things to say. I definitely did need the break. Not going to lie. I've been working very hard this year, folks. Doing the LPL like this has been a grind, but a very rewarding one at that too. Getting to interact with all of you, and build up our own little piece of LPL community. Top esports and anyone's legend. 2 of our split champions fighting for a spot in another finals. This time against BLG. Dragon spawning now. Not exactly something which everyone focuses on early, especially when you've got such an active jungle matchup as it would seem. Tarzan, great player of the Neferi, was one of our best ones in the league while this was meta a long time ago in this year. You know what, I'm going to very quickly... Hang on a second, knock up under towers. Any more threat? No, doesn't look like it. 1 second. Just going to make sure. Slightly bring the volume up. Chang's going forwards, level 6 in that mid lane, no kill threat, but as we've seen with Annie, you typically just get your passive and your ult, and you just have to just jump at someone. Tends to work quite well, actually, on the whole. Not gonna knock it too much. 369 being zoned off for so much. This is one of the reasons I do struggle with Aatrox as a pick. I'm not a big fan of seeing Aatrox in lane swaps, and yet lane swaps persist, so Aatrox will just suffer, really. And I think Tarzan might just be here to deny even more wave. No one's coming up here. Dream is finally getting himself in position. See if he can do something more. We've got a bit of a freeze here. Oh god, it's all the tech issues today, isn't it? Cream trying to walk towards that top side, trying to see if they can... Oh, and that's why it's really important to see if we can get any more than that. Hung coming up as well. And, oh my god, it's just jump forwards as well. Kyle dying as well. It's a 0 for 2. Oh my god. So sorry, everyone. Top Esports walking away with the first 2 kills in that top side. The Realm Warp helping an awful lot. Internet, Huya be damned, apparently. We've just said everything this morning, folks. We've had the Huya feed struggle. We've had Mike doubling up. Oh, God. Well, whatever. Well, whatever. With that, that gives Cream some extra gold. It gives Kanavi some extra gold. Tarzan died in that play, as did Kyle too. Sion's picked up some extra farm in this top side, but even 369 picks up some assists there. Finally, we'll see what happened here. So, Cream got chunked out by the ultimate, but does have the Realm Warp coming up here. And I presume he ends up bringing in both himself and Hung with the Realm Warp. There we go. Tarzan gets locked into the play. They don't exactly have that much damage yet on the Kai'Sa to clean up on this sort of situation either. No, I've even walked over, got that final kill on Kyle. Teleports now to reset the map. I will say, that kind of fight is something which we have seen from Anyone's Legend a few times before, where it feels like they do not ever take a smaller bite of the pie. They will always fight for the largest thing. I swear to God. I swear to God. It'll skip forward just 1 second now as well. Okay, alright. Grubs, yeah, that'll happen now. Okay, so the first grub goes down. Top Esports taking the first of them. Tarzan does have the ultimate, and he has a smite. That's the combo coming in from Kyle. Passive from Hope used, but he's gone very far for it. He has to ult to the side. I'm not sure if he's got flash just yet either. I suppose he does. Goes back. Shanks roots it up. And he'll go down as well for the first kill of the fight. Hope has made it out alive. On the other side, flash forward for 369. Kyle flashing away from that Darkin Blade. Jaculov, another Rite of Ruin. It only ends up being the 1 kill, but Top Esports will get themselves all 3 grubs. Navi claiming the last one of those. Anyone's Legend not getting the most of this situation now. So the initial combo coming in from Kyle, I think is fine, but then Hope goes very far looking for a passive proc here, which leaves him so... Hang on, back into live. 369 in a bit of trouble. Tarzan walking up, but the healing's not bad. Does he have another passive auto? Passive auto could heal a bit more, but the second Q, surely it'll kill, but it misses. 369 will make it out alive. The Deathbringer stance keeping him alive. Ult from Sion to clear up mid lane farm. Anyone's Legend trying to skirmish their way to victories here, but Top Esports clearly doing quite well here, actually. 369 down a little bit in gold, but is now surviving. This is one of the things about the Aatrox. Once Aatrox does get enough gold, and through a couple of fights here and there with particularly that top lane one, he's gotten himself enough resources to now survive. Once Aatrox starts surviving, well then there's your problem. Because Aatrox, once he gets into the game, very hard to lock out of it. Root onto Kyle, does have heal and ghost, not likely to find any more damage onto him here. Thank you so much for the subs, by the way, Zareth and Shrimp Cakes. How am I today? How am I this morning? Well, it's not been a great start to the day. I had like a bunch of different tech issues. Turns out there's no clean feed for this, so you have to go through Huya, which is what I'm doing. 369 hit all of his Qs, and then just waited for a little bit more, got himself the Deathbringer stance to run a bit of healing. Tarzan couldn't quite hit that last Q. Even an E into the wall. Close, close, close. And you know, my morning's just gotten even worse by seeing you in chat, Sarah. You know, all these tech issues, I can handle them, I'm a professional, but seeing you, not sure if I can. Not all the time. That's your Rose. I have an important question. Can someone tell me? Annie, is she okay? Is she okay, Annie? Well, Michael Jackson used to be able to tell us the answer to that. Actually, no, he was the one asking the question. Curious. Okay, let's just zero in, folks. I know I didn't get to do much of a pregame because there was a lot of stuff happening in the background. And, of course, the show started very, very early today. Tarzan over the wall. Can always E back over it. Warrior Trickster. Good damage from Kanavi. Has the first item of the Triforce. Triforce to Shojin completion. First item for both of them. Looks like we're really seriously potentially fighting over this dragon. Top Esports are, I would say, our best objective setup team within the LPL. They are our team which will slowly fight for objectives rather than just try and retake the pit. What you will notice, the difference between these two teams is anyone's legend will try and give up an area but leave some wards behind so they can re-enter the pit, whereas top esports will prefer to choke out vision around an objective and slowly play it out. Teleport now into the pit, and again you can see anyone's legend. They're the ones trying to retake the pit and force top esports off of it. And indeed they do for now. Double teleport coming through. 369. Well, he hasn't got teleport, so now there won't be a serious contest. Dragon will likely go down. And it will be that so. Anyone's legend invests 2 teleports coming in. 369 given alone time on the tower. 1 dragon to 1 dragon. 369 has 3 grubs here. And you'll notice there's no teleports to answer now. Anyone's legend valuing the dragon so much that they give 369 an entire 2 waves onto the turret. Flandra could ult to try and get there in time, but now Kanavi could walk up, and, you know, the Wukong is one of the best tower takers in the game too. We'll walk forwards with the Warrior Trickster, and this could be an entire turret going down. Cyclone now being used. 369 trying to get that 3 grubs onto tower, and will do so. Full tower taken. He has himself an ultimate. His flash might be coming up in a second, but I think 369 realizes, look, I'm dead, but I've done some mighty fine work. Guts the entire turret. And now on the bot side, Hope is left out to dry. A little bit of damage extra would kill him, but the ult shield will keep him safe. Top esports now almost 2,500 gold ahead. And a lot of that gold went over towards jungle and top lane. Flandra did get the kill in that top side, so he will be recouping some farm there. But the Aatrox getting all 5 turret plates shared a little bit with Kanavi at the end is a huge problem. Kanavi now almost 1,000 gold ahead. Flandra now caught out in the sideline, flashing away from the root just to be safe. And on we go again. So top esports, great early plays from them. Kanavi being ahead on Wukong is such a threat. Kanavi at one point was arguably the best Wukong in the world in 2023. No worries, Blade. I'm on this stuff today. What are our item breakpoints? Kraken Slayer for Jacula, going towards the AoE build. Cull almost cashed in for Hope. Now, anyone's legend. They are behind in this game, but what do they have to work with? Well, they have an Apheri that can do a surprising amount of damage and reposition very well. You also have Hope's Kai'Sa, which is legendary. About to cash in the Cull. The Cull will not be available to cash in and then go back to base before this Herald is started, though. Hope will be playing without some of his income. Kanavi does get that Scuttle Crab on the top side. Tarzan looking for a bit of poke. Does get the Q onto Hunk. And will destroy that Celestial opposition. Herald now started. A reminder that Hope has not spent a bunch of his gold, and therefore is only stuck on his basic boots. 369 once again being given gold in a side lane. Top esports happy to give over an objective or two. 369 does have teleport and will be going in immediately. He won't be able to spend his gold from the turret now. Headbutt out of the pit. Kanavi is gone. Hung gets himself 1 knockup. That's not that useful. Hope will jump over the follow-up, and Kyle tries to flash in, uses his ultimate, but there's no damage onto Jacula, and that's a problem. The Nymaera does a lot of damage on the 1 item mark. Cream using that ult to go forwards or flash forward, secure another kill. Top esports may give up the objective, but they do not give up the fight. Flandre will go down, and it'll be a 3-for-1. Hung dying at the start of things. But Top Esports making good on the rest of the team fight. Tarzan potentially eyeing up a play onto Kanavi here. Off of vision. What's the rest of the fight looking like here? Kyle has double summoners. Spotted out. Top Esports using such good work of this 3 grubs. Tarzan stays a little too long in a last overload. And Spellflux will take him down. Is there going to be revenge, though? Yes. Cream down first. Can they chase in for anything else? Kyle, does he have another combo coming through? Perhaps not. It is going to be that one kill. W landing onto Flandre now. 3 different damaging carries. Damaging him down. Even Kanavi coming in at the end. He won't get an assist. This undead Scion goes dead again before he gets a chance to get in for the assist. Top Esports not leaving anything unanswered, and anyone's legend, sadly for them, just a step behind the play. Now, this is the problem we saw coming out of draft. Anyone's legend, yes, they have the front to back of the Scion and the Sivir, the Nefaria is an extra damage carry. Top Esports have 4 different carries. Kyle used that headbutt to make sure that Kanavi was out of the fight at first. It's not a great engage by Hung, but it does just start the fight, and that's basically all they need, really. Cyclone onto a bunch of people. 369 able to just continually walk forwards and forwards again. And Hope, start of the fight, quite precarious situations. Couldn't really stick around to reposition again. Used that ult already. Anyone's legend, their early games and their early jungle pathing have often been where they have found their wins. There will be no such easy victories here today. Top Esports are a very organized team on the whole. They will get themselves their second dragon. 2-1 now on that front. And Top Esports fighting at a chance for yet another finals. It would be another finals between them and BLG last year. That was the matchup for summer finals. Top Esports... sorry, no, not for summer finals. That would have been for earlier on in the year. Sorry. Later on, of course, it was Weibo that made it over them. Weibo beating them down, making it to those finals. God, that was a strange time. Top Esports were the assumed favorites going into that one, but didn't end up being the case. Top Esports will take down the full outer ring of turrets now. Oh, thank you so much for the gift sub, Sarah. And enjoy the extra sub there, Solar Puppy. Of course, we've now done... By the way, folks, I was checking this year. We've had, you know, almost 800 games or something of LPL this year. Perhaps more. It has been a long ride, folks. We'll have regional qualifiers, of course, after the semi-finals and finals this weekend. A series of days. Realm up just to make sure that there is a quicker answer to the wave clear coming through. And the Herald taken by anyone's legend. Not really going to amount to much. Oh my god, it's a Sane Blade. Dun. To you too, Rose. So what's the hope for anyone's legend now? They are behind 5,000 gold. They have taken no turrets. They have a single dragon to their name, but they do have some pretty pedals, I suppose. It is so difficult to see a way that anyone's legend come back into this game now, particularly with the Aatrox being so strong. Typically, you'd attack the Aatrox and say, we can take them out individually before anything else explodes into larger fights. Because 369 is now so strong, despite the lane swap failures to protect him. Fight over the blue buff. Kanavi wins those, gets the smite. But I don't think they can do much against a 369 now. He has 2 items. Starix and the Sundered Sky pops ult, and his healing is ridiculous. I like how he's gone for these items and not something like the Shojin or the Black Cleaver, actually. He knows he needs to be survivable, and this build gives him exactly that. Clean feed. Hang on a second. What's happening there? You all good there, clean feed? Yeah, there we go. Cool. Well, Atscon is alive, and as every good LPL enjoyer knows, this is where the game goes to die. Top Esports very far ahead, but are they far enough to risk the treacherous waters of that objective? Perhaps not. I wonder whether top esports, with such a crushing advantage, just think, look, we'll just play the side lanes. Now, we've got a Ryze in the side lane. Upgraded Merc Treads makes it harder to kill him, especially through the Rod of Ages and the Seraphs. 369, we talked about his survivability before. Vision, likely to be contested over top esports. I don't think they should feel forced to look towards the Atakan. Control your side lanes first. See if you can play slower. Kanavi jumping over the wall. Warriors Trickster away. Vision now completely blacked out on the top side of the map. Top esports, the team which are most likely to... Hang on a second. That blast go and take away from Kanavi is actually pretty threatening. Kyle goes under half HP. Teleport up from the Aatrox. I think get hit by... perhaps a Darkened Dagger. I think that's the bleed effect there. And now Atakan started. There's no vision on this from anyone's legend. Do they have anything to check this with? Well, a Kai'Sa W, perhaps in a little second. I think that Tarzan will be able to get in range for a steal attempt. Oh, please don't tell me we're flipping this top esports. You're so far ahead. You can play this slowly. Pull it away. Top wave being pulled away as well. The leash has been started here, and anyone's legend, they've not been shredded that much because they haven't been around that much. Cream jumped onto perhaps the Ryze gear, taken down. Hung slaps back though, and that's a massive amount of knockouts. And 369 gets into the backline. Atakan helping out to Kanavi, trying to get himself some more into the play, and will do so. It is such a clean fight. 5 for 1. Hung goes down. Top esports get a quadra kill for the top laner. At a 4 onto 369 as top esports walk away with the Atakan and the fight. .369 will walk away with even more gold, and 369, what a player he has been in this summer split. It really has been between him and the Shy for best top laner across split 3 of LPL 25. And I think, you know what, keep on with series like this, perhaps you can even overtake him. No, Kyle got a great engage coming through. The CC afterwards wasn't bad either. But then Kanavi just gets a monster Cyclone. The Cyclone is disgusting. 369 into the thick of things as well. And yes, Tarzan tries to go wild in this, but he's rooted before he can finish his ultimate. Atakan goes down. Now 26 to 17 petals for top esports. They shoot ahead in that value. Third dragon was picked up as well for top esports during the replay. So Atakan, 3 dragons, 3 grubs, 4 towers to none. Anyone's legend likely to pick up their first turret in the top side now, but that's only because top esports have said, okay, well, we got the 3 grubs, let's just go bot side. Take down that bot lane inner turret, perhaps even hitting the inhibitor turret itself, and indeed they will do so. 369 a Spirit Visage third, just to make sure he's ultra unkillable. .369. Well, look, I'm not sure you really kill this guy. Pops the ultimate. I'd say that again. This is meant to be a very survivable build. The Sundered Sky is helping. He still has a Starix to go through it, but in a 1v4, they finally found the number to take down this raid boss of an Aatrox. What will that buy elsewhere? Top esports did push in other lanes. It won't lead to a turret. I'm surprised that top esports don't find a way to answer with that. Top esports just choose to let 369 die there. Anyone's legend able to get an important kill onto the side lane. Hope, now ahead in gold. Perhaps Hope is the way that they can claw their way back into this game, but I don't know. That's a big ask for one Kai'Sa. Hope's Kai'Sa is very, very strong. Strong enough for this, though? I doubt it. Yeah, yeah, how is the LCK series going? I did hear that Peanut, of course, an LPL player for a while too. I did hear that Peanut is serving in the military next year for, so yeah, he's going to be at least taking a pause, perhaps ending one of the most illustrious and respected careers in League of Legends history. Baron alive here. So much history on the mind at this point in playoffs across the world. We have our stories forged anew. Top esports and anyone's legend, 2 champions of this year in the LPL. Anyone's Legend very much struggling around the objectives. Top Esports very good at slow playing the map like this. Baron under half HP. Kanavi getting a little bit lower. Synol coming in. Hope is coming out of base. Presumably has another item. The ult from Flandre is okay. Locks up 369 a little bit longer. Stuns on the top side. As that's going to be a dead Nico. But have they done enough? The fight is very, very split. Hope still has his ultimate. It's not looking terrible here from anyone's Legend. But Hope gets rooted up by the Rune Prison. How much kiting can he do? He's trying to Space Ladder. Will take down the AD carry. Hope has done magnificent work. But there is only so much a single Kai'Sa can do. Top Esports on top as they will take the fight in a 5-for-2. Jack 11 Hung will hit the ground, but the split fight worked out just a little better for Top Esports, and they will take the Baron as prize. .369 separated out from this fight at first is not bad. You know, the Aatrox not being in the fight, I think is better for anyone's Legend. Top laner for top laner being out, but often give that to AL, actually. Hope got some good damage down, stacking up his lethal tempo. He's trying to find a way into the fight. Good damage between Shanks and Hope to finally get .369 down. God damn, not even get him down, rather, but try and force him down at the front line. You just can't with this build. Hope does a very good job of trying to trade off carry for carry, but they just don't have enough damage. The AoE team fight of Top Esports is disgusting. Top Esports have, you know, realistically 4 people that can carry a fight. The Aatrox, oh, flash away from Kyle, teleported in with that support spellbook. Dragon spawning in 40 seconds would be sold for Top Esports. And if that wouldn't be the death of the game, I'm not sure what else would be, really. Add something else onto the top. That's going to be a realm up into the thick of things. They use the Nico into it. The Pop Blossom comes out of nowhere. Like pulling a rabbit out of a hat, they pull a Nico out of a realm warp, and Top Esports with some magic tricks to potentially end this game. Cream, a magician in the mid lane. 7-1 and 8, bringing Hung into the play. What magnificence from Top Esports. The top lane turret will fall. Top Esports march a step further. The inhibitor down now, and I think perhaps it is time for this game 1 to end. Top Esports with a firm statement. So much better in the skirmishes on the map. And anyone's Legend, they will not get themselves an easy wake-up call here. Game 1 to Top Esports. Some Gyos ring out. Top Esports, I think, have a more coherent composition, but I think anyone's Legend have better counters. So, will Top Esports be able to play to their composition, or will individual parts get pulled apart a little bit more? Cream had a very good game on the Rise just before, you know. Earlier in the year for our first finals, it was Shanks versus Cream for Shanks' first finals, and it felt like a new blood of mid laners determining that series. I think as the year has gone on, it's been less about those two front-running their teams and being, you know, huge indicators as to whether their teams will win or lose, and much more about jungle and support, of course. But still always good to check in on these two. Q start from Cream, tanks up some mini aggro with the Q shield. Ricochet, used to control the wave in the way that only Sivir can at these early levels. But now your Ricochet's fallen off. I'm not showing what ability did skilled first, actually, I don't think, though. Good Ricochet again. Good auto reset. Hope, one of the best Sivirs in the world. Jacklove trying to trade back as best he can, but you can just see the early damage coming from the Buckler. That, you know, every so often ranged auto from the Poppy. And the wave control earned by the Sivir and the Poppy. What you're really looking for here is the Corki and the Leona. There is the bounce back. You might not win the level 2 race, but if you get the wave pushed back, things go a lot better for you. Can I be spotted on the top side of the map? Tarzan spotted on the bottom side as he goes towards Raptors as well. Hope and Kyle need to be very careful, because the wave will be pushing into them after this point. But there is a chance that Jackie and Hung can pushing very heavily here. I'm sad that we don't get Chicken Jackie here, by the way. Ooh, good Zenith Blade stopped by Kyle there. Kanavi getting his passive ready. 369 getting the slow down. Going for the Comet, by the way. Jumping forwards and empowered Q. Flandra's overpushed. And Kanavi, very easy first blood. I do like the Comet tech here from 369, by the way. No point going Grasp into a ranged matchup. And it works out really well. The extra poke comes through. Very easy early gang. So it was a top quadrant clear from Kanavi. I didn't spot that, actually. He said, oh, he was pushing out. That top side was spotted on his Raptors, and then immediately ran top side to get that early play in. So now 369 is ahead. That is a problem for anyone's Legend. We saw what happened last time when Flandra was put behind in the match. And more importantly, 369 had a team comp that allowed him to just run wild in team fights with a top lane advantage. So Kanavi spotted on his Raptors, and most of the time you would expect him just to run bot side, but he goes bot side instead. He goes top side instead. Wasn't spotted going through that. Flandra thought he was safe to push in, and while all this is happening, top esports know that Trundle is heading top side. They have their own ward there. They get so much better work out of their early jungle pathing, despite the fact that anyone's Legend have so often been the team which wins through early jungle pathing. I did wonder whether top esports would come in advantageously here, because you don't get easy wins here from this young jungle matchup. Kanavi is so damn good. Shanks likely out safe. Kanavi could go for a W here, and Shanks, well, he'll be out safe at the cost of a flash. Kanavi did get his first back after that topside kill, had the double long swords. Spots out another ward there. You'll notice he's not taking his first wolf camp, by the way. Did Kanavi lose a blue buff? I didn't actually see what happened on this. Yeah, I think Tarzan immediately went for a cross map into the blue buff. So he did manage to take blue buff, and I think... Did he get Gromp as well? Maybe not that, actually. Bot lane, because of these plays from Navi topside, of course, not able to get a huge play in the 2v2 for Jackie and Hung, which you sometimes want to do on the level 3, level 4 on the bounce back. It's quite common, actually, for this lane to do so. Mid lane, a little easier for Cream now, knowing that Shanks has no flash. Good shotgun there from Flandra. Kanavi ahead on Pantheon. That is a problem for anyone's Legend. Why is that still cropping up at the top of the screen? Why is that still cropping up at the top of the stream? That is sure something. Oh well, not exactly sure what to do about that now. We shall just have to leave that as is. That is a little annoying. Tarzan heading top lane now. Is there enough in the tank from top esports? They don't have the level 6 from the Pantheon. Hung is walking up as is Cream. They'll have to just walk with their own 2 feet, and they will do so. Deathray will spot out vision in that brush, and they'll be safe. But that was a window which anyone's Legend were right to look to exploit. It was very close to that. 369. Oh my god, he's down 25 CS in the matchup. He chose this matchup, mind you. Flandra is stomping him in terms of individual farm. Both supports trying to ward out this top side with their own bodies. Wave now pushing in. Hung does have flash to get over the wall if he wants to. He will now walk in, spot out Kyle. Not going to get wall stunned. Recall from 369. Corki coming up top side. He'll collect the wave. Tarzan is here too. Is Shanks in range to ult? No, not yet. This could be a problem. There's a level 6 here on Tarzan. This could be a problem for Jackie, but he's not comboed into. Not well enough. He has the flash in a couple of seconds. The ground will wear off. The ultimate coming through from the Trundle is not that valuable. This is not that great a play from anyone's Legend. They'll deny half a wave, but it could have been so much worse for top esports. Jackie, in fact, keeping both of his summoners there. Hung has himself a teleport if he wants to reset. Anyone's Legend use their first Trundle and Aurora ults of the game, not that successfully. 369 now has some time to push in bot side alone. Top Esports, you know what? I think that they've responded very well to Anyone's Legend's early plans. I think the early planning has been much superior from Top Esports in the first 2 games so far. Anyone's Legend have tried to get quite a lot out of the lane top. Last game, of course, they shut down the Aatrox very hard at the first attempt of things. That's the teleport coming through from the Leona. Slight CS lead for Hope, but it won't last beyond this wave. Ult coming through from Hope. Suppose there is a Galio that could come the top side, but I don't think it's that valuable. W used by Kyle. The Zenith Blade went wide. Jackalov stacking up that Conqueror. The Corki in the early fight's very powerful. Shanks trying to be in position to ult topside, but instead finding the enemy jungle support. He has no flash, and he'll go down. Kanavi catches him out. Top Esports coordinated across their fights. Kyle and Hope, they both have flashes, and they'll both have to use them. The Pantheon's going topside, though, and the wall stun will not save Kyle. 2 kills for Top Esports in the early game, as they are reading the early map so much better. Look at how they coordinate, not just the bot lane fight, but also in the mid lane, so the Galio cannot join the play. Top Esports making sure everything is accounted for. Tarzan will walk up. There could be a smite potentially here. 3 grubs secured for Top Esports. Tarzan, I don't know if I love this. There is a Galio ult potentially. Kanavi could flash out. I think he'll just choose to die here. Perhaps not. Flashes away early. The Solar Flare's not awful, actually. And there's a Blast Gun. I wonder if that'll see him out to safety. Kanavi will go over here. Tarzan could flash over. Shanks goes first. Do they have enough to go through here? Double flash away. Kanavi will go down, but Anyone's Legend will have to pay in summoners to get the kill. Tarzan gets himself his kill there. 3 kills on Kanavi before that point, so presumably did have that shut down. So, this is the important play, because 2v2 is fighting right now. Kanavi and Cream say, well, we can't get to the fight at the same rate as the global, but we can stop the global. Zenith Blade flash forwards, and as we were saying, you know, Kyle and Hope will have to retreat with both of their flashes. Great empowered Q from Kanavi to make sure that it goes out just before the wall stun comes in. Dragon is alive. Gold fairly even as far as things goes. The laning difference in top lane being a big bonnet in AL's cap right now. Now, Top Esports on the Dragon first. They don't have the Solar Flare up just yet. Cream is spotted here, does have flash, gets the phase rush. That helps quite a lot, actually. That phase rush means that he doesn't have to flash. Might need to flash on something like a wallstone from Kyle. Chooses not to, actually, and that might be a mistake. Does take a lot of damage. Trying to get some extra damage through the death ray. Not quite killing off Kyle. Kanavi doesn't have flash now, remember. No teleport from 369. Top Esports might do as they did last game and just... Oh, hang on a second. That's a great jump forward from Hung, but the shotgun might just fire back. Shanks is just going to justice punch himself into the floor. There's an extra kill. Comet Spear, just the tip of it, taking down Kyle. And 369, just like last game, left alone on topside. Now, Top Esports, earlier in this year, were the only team to contest you across the entire map in the early game, and they're doing that here again. Even with no teleport for 369, they make it work in an uneven numbered fight in the bot side of the map. Anyone's Legend, they're getting ran about the map. So, the big thing here is that Cream manages to end up getting his phase rush, which means that he gets to escape the slow a little bit more. It's still a very dangerous situation, but he buys so much time. The wall stun's good from Kyle, actually gets some very good damage onto him. Then he's out of the fight there, of course. I would have thought, well, you know, Cream low HP, surely you just call it off at this point, but no. You just say, well, easy as you like. Shanks getting bodied in this game so far. Shanks has had a horrible time of it. Kyle walks too far forwards, gets hit by that last Q from Kanavi too. A mistake from him, but I don't think the fight was his fault. Shanks now at 0-2. I am really worried if Shanks is just not going to have a strong performance on this Galio. You need the Galio to be disruptive. We were saying, look, Top Esports have a more coherent composition. Why is only one caster speaking? Because there is only one caster, Sam. It's only me today. Sam will be here for finals tomorrow, don't you worry. Cream doesn't have flash. He does have phase rush. Might need to use that pretty quick, though. Just make sure he can very quickly get that phase rush down, steps forwards. You really need that phase rush to deny that slow from the Trundle Pillar. Thank you, Katari, for the sub, by the way. I appreciate you. And Grub Zero. I did see the extra gift sub before. I appreciate you a lot. But yeah, if you've not seen our streams before here this summer, yeah, we do occasionally have to solo cast depending on availability. At the end of the day, I am just but one caster. I normally cast with my brother Sam. Not here today. Top Esports. Very strong point in power. They have first dragon, 3 grubs, 2,000 gold lead, with a composition which I think 5v5 is better. Can you get an honorary mic punch for Sam? Well, perhaps it'll happen organically. You know, I'm not... Who am I to deny you a mic punch in this most important of days? Triforce brought in for Jacula. Blackfire build from Cream. Which means you're easier to burst out, but your damage is very big. Tarzan does not have flash. He does have an ultimate, but he won't be able to pull it that quickly. Galio coming in defensively. Tarzan putting the ult onto Kanavi, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to keep him alive. And it's not. A Comet Spear out of the heavens. It's a meteorite smashing into the earth. Kanavi low HP and will go down, but I don't think this is the end of the fight. Kyle does not have himself anymore. Escape opportunities. And he'll go down. Shanks doesn't have flash either. And it's another grab field, which will bring him down to earth. Top Esports take the fight 3-for-1. So much better in the early skirmishes. What has happened to anyone's legend early plans? Their early plans, their jungle diff was so important to them. But Top Esports are moving so much more confidently around the fights. I mean, anyone's legend, I think they pick too heavily into counter picks. I don't think they have a coherent composition. Where is their engage? Their engage is sometimes a wall stun. They have good ability to peel back onto their carries with the Trundle ulting someone, Galio buying time, but Top Esports just stand at range. They have a Victor, they have a Corki, that's long enough range. And now suddenly with Top Esports with the advantage, they are the ones which can get to the objective first and force anyone's legend to play their disjointed composition in this fight. Appreciate you, Marco. Appreciate you. Kanavi the better Griffin jungler? Of course, how can you not mention that as well? Kanavi and Tarzan. 2 icons of the LPL, but of course Tarzan before that was an icon of the LCK on Griffin. Kanavi was his understudy. Kanavi never played in the LCK, but was there behind Tarzan, learning from him, as they both found their entry into the pro scene there. What an honor it has been to watch Tarzan and Kanavi over the years here in the LPL, playing their trade amongst the very best of them here in China. Harold has spawned Dragon in 30 seconds. 369 does have teleport. Doesn't exactly need to push out bot lane that much more, though. Already has picked up enough tower gold to equalize the laning deficit in topside. Hung is going to get spotted out, but he will take a lot of damage. The redemption's not bad here, and Karl just gets blasted. Even with the steadfast presence, it is not steadfast enough. Tarzan low HP, and Shanks, well, I think he's going to get stabbed in the ribs himself. No more summoners left, and Shanks goes down yet again. I'm not sure the one piece is real in this one. Shanks has been broken into multiple pieces. 1 and 4. This Galio has not been what anyone's legend wanted. They have not been finding their entrances into the fights the way that they wanted. Why does Shanks never have flash? Because he's so often in positions like this. The teleports have struggled. Tarzan might be able to find Cream. He does have flash. Is there another phase rush? Good damn it. Good move speed from Cream, but Tarzan does have flash. Not too bad back there. Kyle, tries to get the wall stun. Oh, Kyle. It's not been a good game from him either. 0 and 5. Turret goes down. What has happened to anyone's legend so often? Stalwart. In this year, anyone's legend mounted a great comeback from this split after starting poorly. But at the worst possible timing, anyone's legend have started this series so poorly. Kyle misjudging how tanky he was. Hung can tank up the steadfast presence, and Shanks is left out to dry here too. It's a bad teleport. Put into the massive damage of the Pantheon and the Victor while they're both ahead. Kyle and Shanks both having nightmare games. Is 1 and 4, 0 and 5. Anyone's legend, what has happened to this team which took the LPL by storm earlier this year? A team which is built up from lowly beginnings. A team which had not found results really in the LPL. And then last year, He started to build. Tarzan potentially going towards topside here. Of course, Tarzan was one of the final pieces of that puzzle last year. We saw Croco and Kyle come in towards Anyone's Legend. They had a good burst. Of course, they brought over Shanks and Hope from Team WE of 2023. That carry duo sticking together. Kyle came over, Flandra came over this year, as well as Tarzan too, but it just has not been enough for this split. Earlier it was. Anyone's Legend, they were our strategists. Ultimate's blown here in mid lane. Tabe, the coach, joining last year as well, partway through. It was so critical. Tabe, one of the people in the LPL, you can really point to his coaching record and say, yeah, this guy's something special. Later this year's gone, though. You ask questions about that coaching. Anyone's Legend, they've looked less coordinated, less certain about how they move on the map. Their drafts have struggled too. Ever since MSI, Hung walking forwards, gets full CC. Not that much follow-up, but it's good to delay. I think that's all that they really needed. Jackulov jumped onto, but Kanavi jumps onto him. Right back to it. Hung might die, but it is a worthy sacrifice. The fight starts in a 2-for-1. Galio, it's a retreating ultimate. It's not bad damage from the Aurora, but I don't think it's going to be enough. 369 could swing down the shovel. The shotgun's not back from Flandra, and the shovel will come through. 369 leaves the HP at 0-0-0. Jackulov takes down the mid lane out of turret. And Top Esports, though they lose an extra kill in that, still end up walking away with what? Was that another 3 for 2? With Hung dying as well? They walk away... Well, do they walk away with a Herald? Who the hell got that? Okay. Right. Yeah, what happened to that? Did anyone pick it up? I don't see it in anyone's inventories. Okay. Tarzan jumped onto. Poppy ults forced Cream away, but all that did is delivered him over to Cream's side of the fight. Top Esports did no... Guys, no one picked up the Herald. Top Esports did pick up the Herald, folks. They just looked for the fight instead. Okay. Well, I guess they took all that turret anyway. Flandra very, very close to taking down Cream on the other side. Bonk. Did get CC'd under turret. So close to killing that. Sivir picking up the boomerang blade at the end. Yeah, so no one picked up the Herald. It is dead. Top Esports claimed it. They have the feats of strength. I guess they had the first turret and the kills anyway, so that didn't really matter. Top Esports now 5,000 gold ahead. This game is very similar to the last. Top Esports ended up giving AL the run around the dragon. They took it this time, but, you know, even in the last game, they made AL commit towards the bot side of the map, and Anyone's Legend losing so many plates and losing control of the map. Top Esports taking so many turrets so easily in the side lane with 3 grubs. Ooh, flash away there. Cream not safe enough with the phase rush this time. Of course, Atakan is available. 2 items for Hope. Does have the Infinity Edge. He's been farming up a Storm. He's 2-0-1 as well. That kill gold helping. Perhaps Hope again could be something special. Hope has not been the problem in these games, folks. His Kai'Sa was good. I think his Sivir is doing his job. Anyone's Legend fighting back from this gold deficit this early with a composition that is not that coherent is so difficult. What do you do here as Anyone's Legend? What do you do? 2 items coming in from Top Esports. Anyone's Legend can't match that across all roles, particularly in mid lane. It's a problem, but jungle is a bit of a problem too. Teleports in. Grabfield used to stun up Kyle. Good damage. His Sephir's presence is down. Who does he fire the ult towards? It's going to be Wards the Corki. Hung going down low, and he will die. But that's only the support. That's not the most important person. Killing Kanavi. Now that's more important. Flandra goes over. Jackulov now back into the play. Was, of course, removed by that Poppy a little earlier. Flandra, good damage onto him. Jackulov, does he have a Valkyrie to come back? Perhaps not at this point. It's a 2 for none so far. Anyone's Legend, not bad, but they do use some big ultimates to do so, and their HP bars are low. Jackulov, please don't stand in that. Damn damage from the Atakan. Shanks spotted on vision here. Jackulov is very powerful, has flash. Atakan's going low. The pillar comes through. Does he look for the fight? Just wants to kill Kyle. We'll get that first one down. Jackulov, how much extra work can he do? The carries are alive, and in a 2v5, perhaps they can find themselves a little more. No, chop down. Jackulov removed from the equation. Anyone's Legend get themselves the Atakan, the petals which come with it, and overall, I think that was 4 kills alongside it. Good run back for them. It was an objective bounty. Now they will give over a dragon at the end of this. But Anyone's Legend do walk away with good value here. It's not bad, actually, from anyone's legend. Much better from them. Hung dying very early at the start of this and Jaculov removed meant that they were fighting basically in a 3v5 for a lot of this. Jaculov, good early damage. Jaculov, I wonder whether you have to just flash that. I wonder. Didn't do so. Hung goes down very, very quickly. Kanavi trying to be the front line, but your damage isn't here. Cream is zoned off and Jaculov is punted out. Good play from anyone's legend. The Poppy ultimate being a big difference maker there. Back into live. Tarzan pulling the ults. Again, this Sivir is pretty scary. And Kanavi, I don't know if he's got enough support coming towards him. The redemption comes through, and perhaps I'm wrong. Starts coming through as well. Shanks, big damage. 369. Taking the chunk out of him. Hope has flash. Cream, great damage. Remember, higher damage Victor build means that he's much more of an assassination threat. Kyle using the Maiden is an escape route. No one dead for anyone's legend, but Summoners down. 2 of them. Fondra's just coming up. Don't be fooled by that one. Shanks and Hope lost their Summoners there. Shanks 303, 1.4 gold, 1,000 gold ahead of Jaculov now. Cream on the other side, though, does have a 10-stack Medjay. That's a problem from anyone's legend. What happened here? Ah, he just walked into the full cage. 369 realized he was onto something there. The taunt doesn't mean much when all it does is it means that they auto-attack you some more. Very, very close to dying there. Cream with the 10-stack Medjay is a game changer. The extra move speed makes a huge amount of difference here to top esports mid laner. It's very hard to shut him down in the first place. Now with the extra move speed and the phase rush, harder again. Two items for Yorick is terrifying as well. 1,000 gold ahead of the Aurora. The Aurora's not been doing bad in the team fights, in fairness. But 369 has gotten so much gold from turrets. Now you're at the point where 2-item Yorick just takes over any lane which he's in. Very hard to deal with a Yorick that's taken over the game. Starts to win so much. I know, gankers, I've let Onivia know. I'm not actually in control of the thumbnails. Now I've let Onivia know. I had messaged about 20 minutes ago before the start of this game. About 30 minutes ago then. Turns out when you're casting, streaming, moderating chat, all by yourself, there's some things which you can't do. Auto throw from top esports. It wasn't a great Atakan fight, but they did get the dragon afterwards. They are on soul points. They do have the feats of strength. They are still ahead 3,000 gold, less than the 5,000 gold they were earlier. But even with that, I think top east will still have a better composition. The Trundle is scary, but I don't think it's game ending. We talked about how dangerous Cream can be on this Victor. He's very hard to shut down. As long as Jaculov gets himself in the right position, I think he will do enough damage too. Hard to pin him down in a fight with just the pillar and the wall stun to work with. Where are JDG in the playoffs? JDG are currently out. They'll be in regionals. So just to run over the stakes again, folks. If anyone's legend win this series, they are going to Worlds. Guaranteed. If they lose, they are still in the regional qualifiers. If top esports win, they are not auto-qualified. They will need to win finals to auto-qualify to Worlds. If top esports get to finals and then lose, then anyone's legend go through to Worlds as well. They'll go through a second seed. So if they lose here, they want top esports to win the final, to lose the finals rather. So they can go through a second seed. Whoever doesn't auto-qualify from these two will drop down to the regional playoffs, the regional qualifiers. They will be alongside Weibo, JDG, Invictus Gaming. And they will fight off for 2 last world spots. As it stands, JDG Weibo will be playing off in the lower bracket of the regional qualifiers. So the loser of that will be immediately eliminated, and the winner of that will face the loser of whoever drops down out of these two teams. And then Invictus Gaming, who are currently a little bit above the other seeds in our regionals. So that's the states for who qualifies for Worlds. Top esports. Dominant in the first 2 games so far. The game slowed down a little bit, but, you know, 369 takes a chunk out of the spot side turret. Comet lands onto Flandre. Half HP from that inner turret. So disgusting with 3 grubs Yorick. Now, of course, top esports could always just leave a fight, but I feel like they're strong enough. 3 items for the Sivir is the win condition from anyone's legend. Perhaps Shanks can buy enough space for Hope. Perhaps Tarzan, with an ult onto an important enough target, can make the fight very quickly into a 4v5. Tarzan currently on vision. W casting, W chatter. Cream, again, we were saying higher damage build, double burn from Blackfire Leandries. Higher damage than the Rod of Ages. Right here, it's really worked out, though, because he realizes there's not that much to jump onto him. We're getting towards the Dragon Spawn now. As we said, top esports do like to slowly play around objectives, play for terrain, for zone denial. There is a Mega Cone to use for Tarzan. He's spotted here. How much poke can Cream get done? No Death Rays landing just yet. There are, of course, rockets to be used. Anyone's Legend could... I mean, if they go towards that tower, they're going to give up positioning on the Dragon. Hope walking now back over. The pillar's not... Oh, pillar's not been used just yet. The Poppy ultimate sends the Yorick out of the play. Flandra, not a bad ult from him. And the Dragon taken by the Trundle. No soul for top esports. Aurora has gone down. A trade of the Leona. I think top esports will take that trade. Kanavi going down, but the carries are alive. Sivir, how much damage can they do? Still above half HP. Dragon to the side of anyone's Legend. And I think they're pretty happy for that. 369, good healing. Hope flashing over. The 3-item Sivir carrying the fights in anyone's Legend will get themselves not just the Dragon now, but a significant advantage. They can get towards the bot lane turrets, and top esports, they fumble the fight. Not able to deal with the Poppy ultimate. Kyle really setting up the team fight to success despite the scoreboard looking so pitiful for him. The Yorick not being there at the start of the fight does really hurt them, and top esports, they should have played the fight slower. We were saying they like to play for zone denial. They play it too quickly this time. Bradfield wasn't bad, actually. Chaos Storm's not awful either. Ah, the push away means Kanavi's out of range for the smite. No smite fight if they're out of position. Hung trading, Kyle pushing the Pantheon away from the Dragon so he can't smite it down. And Hope getting that flash forwards to shut down. 500 gold in his pocket there too. Won't be unhappy with that. And the gold starts to shrink. How much can anyone's Legend do with a Sivir and a Dream? 3,000 gold ahead for Hope in a battle of our two most veteran AD carries here in the LPL. Hope is definitely making his mark felt here, making his impact felt here in game 2 into the late game. Kanavi caught out. Does he have an E? Yes, he does. Where's the extra damage? Hope and Flandra behind them. It's a pretty good blast cone. Kanavi needs a little bit more. Tarzan will get the kill. Jungler now down. Top esports, what's the plan here in a 4v5? The redemption stops a quick recall, I suppose. You are now without a smite and without a bit of your temporary frontline. Anyone's Legend taking opportunistic fights and doing well with it. Poppy ultimate charge up and missing this time. Top esports, they need a fight. They need a fight. Shanks can flash over for a taunt. The Flandre ultimate from the Aurora, not bad. But 369 need kills. They don't need anything else. They need to get in for a fight. They just watch it go down. Shanks does go in for the taunt. Hung will go down. Cream trying to do the extra damage. Hope, quite high HP right now. The wall stuff for Kyle is pretty good. Hope is alive and Hope will start to shred through them. The Sivir scaling is online and top esports will meet a grisly end at the Baron. Anyone's Legend will walk away with 5 kills and will get themselves the gold lead for the first time in this game. Turrets will fall, and Anyone's Legend, he might even look for minimum an inhibitor. Top esports, how they have fumbled around the Atakan, the Dragon, and then the Baron. Anyone's Legend are much better in the objective fights. Kanavi over the wall, can't stop this. It will be minimum an inhibitor with 20 seconds left on the carry, so I wonder if they go for a game end. It is only the jungle support alive for top esports. Walking forwards again. Hope so strong. Redemption coming down, trying to kill some of the minions. The taunt and the turret means that they're not hitting the carries. Hope goes low, but I don't think it's low enough. Tarzan ultimate comes back up and Kanavi hits the ground. Anyone's Legend chain fights into fights in to win. Anyone's Legend will even up the series despite a poor start to game 2 and will be going. Kanavi Lee Sin, this will be his 86th game on the champion, his most played champion of all time, 62% win rate. Hope's Jinx also fairly legendary for him too. 68% win rate. This is his 45th game of all time on the champion. You can argue top esports walking into this with 3 winning lanes, better engage, good ability to explode the first target. Flandre on the Cassante needs to be monstrous this game, I think. The Cassante, I think, gives an option for anyone's Legend to hold the front line shut and buy space and time for Hope and Kyle to set up a hyper carry duo combo. Get the reset and see if the resets are enough. It's not an easy composition from anyone's Legend by any means. When you play Jinx Lulu, you're supposed to play front to back, no? Why 2 assassins? Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You're meant to be setting up for the reset for the Jinx. Both of them explode the first target, and hope that works out. Not bad damage there from Jackie. Q hit from Hung there as well, gives a bit of sustain. Hung's 500th game here in the LPL. Level 2, likely hit by a Hope and Kyle. Good poke coming out from them. The ward is taken in the brush. Good occasional poke there from Hope. The wave will come in. Q for auto in mid lane. Orianna, of course, getting the push in here. Top lane, of course, they're now getting the push there too. Lee Sin clearing one quadrant, going for a recall, getting a longsword early, and then going back out onto the map on top side. Watch him now, Knavi. Wanted that early fighting power, because often what happens is the Zed will power clear, get himself 2 longswords, and fight for the first scuttle crab. I think Knavi thinks, look, if I get a single longsword, I can actually fight. Even if I'm down stats, I can still fight. But if I don't get any buy, then that's a problem. Choosing to slow down his clear and say, I want the extra longsword in case there's a fight at scuttle. Hung dodging out on most of the skill shots there, actually. Just the auto attack, which is notably not a skill shot. Being dodged away from Tarzan. Will be spotted on the spot side now. They should know. They should see that vision plant. There's no pings, though, actually. Ah, they didn't see it. They weren't checking the minimap. Cream, going to get aggressed onto here. Okay, mostly absorbed by the shield. Nothing big there. Cream gets the wave into turret. Will teleport back safely. Shanks missing out on 1 minion there. I still think of Hung as a rookie. He's been around for a little while now, hasn't he? Of course, was on LNG in 2023. Went to... Oh, was he still there in 24? I think he was, actually. Yes, he was. Moved this year, of course. We thought that Hung's career was going to be over. Given how poorly he was playing. Knavi just over the wall hit. Q missing. If that had hit, could have potentially been a flash forced. Cream getting full control of this lane. Not getting a CS advantage, though, notably. Shanks still has his teleport. He's happy to take a hard trade here or there. Teleport back in. Tarzan farming completely fine, of course. Kyle, is the root going to come through? No. Wave forced into turret. Kyle was just looking to hold that as fast as he could. As long as he could, rather. Cream going to try and stop Shanks. Yeah, so what Knavi wanted to do there is shield up Cream, so he could go for a quick back cancel. Press the E on himself at that point, have double shield, and take no damage from the turret shot. Knavi now playing around the fact that Shanks is going to be a little bit later into securing... Oh, it's so close! So close. Not a good smite there from Tarzan. Knavi didn't smite on the other side. Shanks... a quick trade onto Knavi. Some small raptors taken, and that's it. BLG already go to Worlds, right? Yes. BLG have already qualified for Worlds. They have enough points where if they lose the finals, they will still auto-qualify. Because, of course, they were in finals last split. They got a lot of points from that, too. Top East was bowed out a little earlier, you'll remember. Of course, they got knocked out quite early into the playoffs by Top Esports. Same with JDG. Both of them very much underestimating the underdog team of W. Of course, W then failed to even make playoffs this split. Titanic fall-off from them. Dragon started by Anyone's Legend. I will say, it has been a better early game from Anyone's Legend than it normally would be. Shanks walking towards Knavi. Not a bad trade into him. Knavi, how much extra heals and shields does he have? Q lands onto Shanks there. Don't really think he's got enough to fight around this. Dragon will be secured easily. Reset for Hope. Gets a bit of attack speed and movement speed. Nothing gained, though, for the first Dragon this time. Remember the first 2 games? Anyone's Legend took the Dragon in the game 1. Lost it at game 2, actually. The 369 got like a full turret the first 2 games. Ooh, level 6 early hit from Shanks there. Does he have enough damage? Not sure about that. No, he doesn't. Cream holds onto his summoners. Had the Ruby Crystal, which helped him stay out of kill range. Shanks takes a good trade, but it's not enough to win the lane in the way that he wants. Top scuttle taken here by Kanavi. Will be spotted on that one. Spotted heading around the back of mid lane, so Shanks will have to pay respect to that. Yeah, he's heading all the way back. Cream in a safe point in mid lane now. Yeah, so I can check over the stats again, but yeah, he has like a 62% win rate. 62% win rate, Kanavi. That's across his whole career. He hasn't played it much this year. This year, he's only played a couple of games of it. He's played 5 games, he's 4-1. However, across his whole career, 86 games all time, including this one. Tarzan yet to make a huge impact on this game, but the Zed does power farm very effectively, and there's no one in this game that can really stop him from doing damage in a team fight. This Zed could be very threatening for anyone's Legend. Now, they don't have much CC to set him up for it. This is a very hard mechanical game from anyone's Legend. No one is helping you do your own stunts. You are very much going in unguided. Very little CC. It's a bit from Cassante. A little bit from Lulu, not much. They don't have a Rakan. They don't have a Meganar when it comes to it as well. Cream zoning off Hope from this mid lane. Tarzan is over the wall. Cream has flash. Not really sure you can do much here. Yeah. Tarzan just here to try and allow Hope some access to the wave. Orianna sometimes does go for an opportunistic shockwave just to chunk people out of lane, force them away. Kyle tanking up that QW with a shield. Grubs are alive. Toppies was getting the first 3. The first 2 games of this series. Tarzan going towards it. Very quick once it gets under half HP. Lee Sin, I don't think he's going to get in range to steal, so Ale will get themselves their first grub of the series. Knockup lands onto Shanks. Shockwave misses. That's a problem. Now Kanavi can still follow the Q. Shanks uses the first part of his ultimate. That'll be down now. 369. Isolated right now. Tarzan does have his ultimate. There's no shockwave anymore. Kanavi not able to get the smite down there. There'll be all 3 grubs to anyone's Legend this time. They get in. Get the grubs. Flash from Flandre means they all get out. The shockwave not available to punch back there. Shanks still on the side. No ultimate for him. Flandre loses his flash, loses his ultimate. The top is do not find the fight. Shockwave whiffed. Not able to get that clean play. 369 could get himself a Meganar here if he so wished. There's no cleanse on Hope. Has the Ghost instead. Did blow that earlier. First time in this series where top esports do not get themselves grubs. Anyone's Legend, all 3 this time. They take the whole lot. Wait, anyone's Legend came back from game 2? Oh, yes, they did. Oh, yes, they did. Atakan into Dragon, into Baron. 3 good fights back to back. At this point, Lulu pick is just a counter Kanavi Lee Sin. It's definitely a hard counter to the Lee Sin. Very hard to dive in when you're polymorphed at the first jump in. I will say, you can always just hope for the mega kick onto Hope at some point later into the game. Hope farming up fine. That is a big thing. You know, typically you'd say the Zyra Khan would be doing well in lane, and it's not like they've done badly, I suppose, but Hope and Kyle very much into this game. They have a cull stacking, they're not behind in farm, the Jinx will be relevant. And everyone on the other team are champions, which Jinx does fairly well into on the whole. No one tanky enough to stop you from resetting. Low mobility Xayah and Orianna. You outrange the Xayah, not the Orianna with the shockwave, of course. Dragon is now spawning. Top esports at the objective first. They're in bot side river. I think they'll get forced out here. Tarzan yet to cast an ultimate this game. Gets an Eclipse shield and damage down. Cream does have his ult, but he doesn't have his own first item worth noting. No one does just yet. A little early in the game for that. Going towards the Rod of Ages, interestingly. I wonder whether he should have gone more damage, you know, but I suppose trying to avoid that reset. I understand it. Dragon started now. Top esports will manage to retain control of the spot side river for now. Jaculov dropping the mid wave now. Knock up onto Tarzan. Take up a shield. Ignite dropped onto him. Hung will get the heal back midway through this combat. Jaculov zoned off. He's not in the best position here. Flandre getting lower. Does have the all-out. Doesn't have flash to do that much. Oh, Tarzan going on towards Jaculov. Barry coming down. Shockwave's not bad. They're giving up the Dragon contest. That's a good assassination from Shanks. Both assassins doing their work. Dragon is claimed by Kanavi, but he'll go straight into the Zed, who is waiting ready. And a Roy 2 with a death block. Tarzan forces off Jaculov, kills Kanavi. Cream will die too for a reset for Hope, and anyone's legend will walk away with 3 kills from the fight, even with the fact that they lose the dragon. They will walk away happy. Anyone's legend, a successful contest of the dragon. They don't get the objective itself, but they definitely take the fight. Jaculov just struggling to get into position here. Hit by a W. Tarzan ends up jumping onto him, and I think Tarzan makes a good decision here to say, look, I'm just going to make sure this Zai cannot determine this fight. Holding the fact that he has his ultimate there. Shanks gets a route into the play. Orianna dragged out by a crazy all-out. Surprised he managed to get him all the way through that wall. Very crazy. And then Tarzan goes out straight into a death mark. Dies unceremoniously there. Hope flashes over the wall. He's flashed forwards aggressively a couple of times now. I think Hope's been fantastic this series. His Sivir last game was so clutch. Of course, Kyle and the Poppy was a big part of that late game too, but Hope scaling into infinity on a hyper carry. Well, it's what, won JDG a title back in 2022 summer. God, Hope was so good back then in that meta, as was Jaculov, the Zeri Sivir meta. A bit of Zyre and Ashe in there too, of course. I somewhat miss Ashe in pro play. Champion that's immobile, but brings some extra engaged threats from across the map. Anyone's legend making this composition work for now. We don't have engage, really. Flandre forced to flash. But they do have a ton of damage onto the first target, which missteps. So if top esports misposition, they don't have good battle lines. They don't exactly have the best front line. Anyone's legend might actually be able to make the 0 engage composition work by virtue of the fact that top esports have 0 tank. Ult coming in from Shanks. Level up onto Cream. Misses a Q there. Shield coming through from Lee Sin. Ultimate down. On the other side, 3 Grogs being used for Anyone's legend to siege down this turret. The occasional auto attack causing some threat here. 3 plates down already. Turret plates falling down. I think they just got that last plate in there. They just about got that. Mid lane out to turret. Threatened by Flandre. Moving now towards the bot side of the map. First turret of the game to Anyone's legend. They'll get themselves the feat to strength. Jaculov now pushing in there. And to Anyone's legend, their best early games so far in this series. The first 2 games, their early games, were quite shocking, actually. Top esports, very good. How are IG's chances looking? Do they have to go through regionals? Yes, they do. They will play... They have 2 best of 5s to play. And if they win either of them, they will get to Worlds. Shanks... No knock-up onto him. The W giving some move speed to Shanks. But yes, Invictus Gaming will basically play the loser of this series. Not quite, but they'll play whichever team ends up placing lowest out of Top Esports and Anyone's Legend in terms of championship points. If Top Esports win finals, it's Anyone's Legend. If anything else happens, it's Top Esports. So they'll play Top Esports, then they'll play the winner of Weibo JDG. If they were to lose that first series. They have 2 best of 5s to try and make it. God, it'll be Invictus Gaming's first time back at Worlds in many years. Minute till Dragon. Hey, Sam. Welcome back. 49 months. That's almost a year. Hung. Gonna be able to get out to safety. Rakan very hard to lock down, of course. And AL, as we noted, don't exactly have a plethora of CC. 30 seconds till Dragon now. Herald is alive. Top Esports. Well, they're recalling for Kanavi right now. Giving over the Herald. Wanted to get himself An extra back, I suppose. Cream has himself his first item. It's the Rod of Ages, not that high damage. Herald easily taken by anyone's legend. Dragon up in 10 seconds. Top esports. Hang on, there's a teleport from Flandre towards the bot side of the map. Stop 369 getting an easy demolish in. 369 doesn't want to lose too much HP before the dragon spawns. And let's be honest, the Gnar 1,000 gold up is likely going to get himself enough damage on that tower at some point anyway. Cassante going for the Jack Show first item worth noting, not the Iceborne Gauntlet, which we more commonly see. Top esports not quickly going towards this bot side dragon. Na'Vi yet to get much value here on the Lee Sin. 700 now, 800 gold down. Teleport coming in from Orianna after clearing that last wave. Not bad damage from 369. Has the Triforce. Cole cashed in. Good damage there. Of course, Flandre, no teleport to use. Herald used in mid lane. Anyone's Legend maybe giving up a dragon if they really need to and saying, look, we have the Herald. We can charge that into mid lane. Can they hold this up here? If they can, that'd be a good victory for Top esports. They want the game to not accelerate too much in anyone's Legend's favor. Having said, Shanks 3 grubs on top side. It's not a great factor for them either. 369 will get the bot side turret though, so it is a trade. Nah, more value. Top esports really valuing 369 with an individual advantage. Heal from Carlius for the move speed onto Cream. Ooh, Tarzan jumping forward. Flandre not able to get the punt into the wall. Has the flash, does this Cassante. Teleport coming in from Shanks. Dragon, low. Very hard to steal things away from a Lee Sin. The Q's on him, and it goes to Kanavi. Shanks on the flank. Looking for a assassination potentially onto Cream. Not able to do so. Top esports, how do they get back and defend mid lane now? Anyone's Legend likely going to defend these entrances. Some shields here and there. Shanks spotted heading out. E missing. I think with that... Oh, it's not bad damage onto Jaculov. He needs to be careful here. Might need to pull the ultimate. It goes through that Q3. Is there a further pullback? No. Teleporting for 369 to defend that mid lane turret. Anyone's Legend really trying to control this retreat back to mid lane. Red buff will be taken. So an ultimate and a red buff, the wins there for anyone's Legend. Not able to get towards that mid lane. Not easily. Turret's getting low, of course, and with 3 grubs, it will very likely fall. And just one more waves of attention. Top esports, they are the ones who will need to clutch up now. They are behind in gold, significantly so for the timestamp. Against a composition where if you make missteps, will punish you very quickly. Not that much CC, but a lot of damage. We've seen Jaculov had to force to use his ult very quickly. Kanavi trying to go red buff for red buff seal, and we'll get it. Polymorph comes through. Hung popping the quickness. We'll get a bit of a charm in there. Knock up onto Tarzan. The red buff for red buff steal. Top esports, tit for tat. How much can 369 do on this Gnar? A lot of this game, I think, will now be about Gnar side lane pressure for Top esports. Anyone's Legend, they don't have the best options into the Gnar. Even the Akali can lose against that Gnar quite heavily once he gets split push active. Dragon not available for quite some time. Hope on the Jinx in a wonderful spot. Going towards the Phantom Dancer for the 10% move speed on that item. Kraken Slide giving another 7%, of course, too. Atakan spawning as well now. Hung trying to de-ward this brush. Not successful in doing so. Don't really want to stick around for that Zed. Eclipse poke. Black Cleaver coming through from Tarzan as well. W slowed into the ult just to get some poke down with Jaculov. Cream pushing in a wave in towards top side. 1,000 gold deficit across all roles but top lane for Top esports. Top lane is their hope. Anyone's Legend, hope is there. Hope. Funny how that works. Dragon spawning in 2 minutes. Not any time close now. Kanavi polymorphed. We'll spot the ward being put down there. Down a level to Tarzan. But not for long. One more camp will see him through to level 12. Does he have second item now? Well, he's 1,000 gold behind, so no, he doesn't. I do think Kanavi had a very good time with things versus Tarzan in the first 2 games. This time, Tarzan has the advantage. Shanks walking forwards, does hit that E. Atakan started, actually. Lee Sin heading towards the bot side of the map. It's quite high HP. How quickly can Lee Sin make his way over here? Not that quickly, and... well, I mean, you're waiting for Gnar to do something here now, really. You need that Mega Gnar. Shanks spotted out on the side here. 369, tanky enough. Not bad damage there. And actually, the Featherstorm's pretty good. Hung getting some CC down as a reset for Jinx. Rocket slams into the back of Hung, and he'll go down. It's on a Kanavi steal or nothing. Can he get in? Is there another polymorph? I'm not sure. Q3 hits onto 369. This is dangerous now for anyone's legend. The shockwave takes down Andre. It's currently 4v4. Kanavi going in. Polymorph onto him. Deathmark comes through as well. He will die, and now there's no swipe. Shanks sees the angle, and I think Dracula might go down at the other side. Atakan taken by Anyone's Legend, and the resets for Hope. We'll see the end of Top Esports in this plate. Almost clutch out for Top Esports, but not quite so. 3 for 2 for Anyone's Legend and the Atakan. Big win for Anyone's Legend. As Top Esports, I thought they could clutch that out. Not to be. Not to be. I think that was 4 for 2, sorry. Hung died at the start of it, of course, to the Rocket. 4 for 2. So many polymorphs from Kyle changing the course of this fight. Flandre hits the Q3 onto Jaculov. Gets the all-out onto Rakan instead, and those chompers stop Jaculov from walking forwards to threaten. Suddenly you've got a Xayah with no ult. Another Q3 lands from Flandre. A great haul from him. Does get taken down by the shockwave, of course. They're not bad from Cream. You think, okay, maybe this is playable. Q lands onto him, but there's another polymorph. Tarzan uses his ult to dodge the damage there too. Dragon likely going in the favor of Anyone's Legend, and indeed it will be. Top Esports now down around 4,000 gold. Significant here. Again, it is only the Gnar with a gold advantage, really. Jaculov really struggling to get value here. Does have Essence Reaver and Infinity, just not bad items. But he doesn't have Armor Pen for Flandre's Cassante, who he will be hitting for a lot of this game. No mic, no personality. Well, I'm no Cam. Low personality, I suppose. Thanks to the follow. Welcome to the stream. Flandre. Ooh, this time taking a lot of damage, trying to siege things down. Can they take the full turret? Yes, they can. There's a good win there for Top Esports. Anyone's Legend not able to defend the turret as cleanly as they would have liked. Jaculov desperately needs a Lord Dominates regards. Or, of course, a Mortal Reminder as well. Could be a slight option. There is going to be the Unending Despair coming through for Cassante in a bit. Shanks getting that Eon to Kanavi. Kanavi's Lee Sin, not really been that successful. The Lulu has made their life very difficult. They're 2,000 gold down now. Tarzan with the upgraded boots. Eclipse Black Cleaver. Cream down a significant amount of gold. Gone for the full tanky build. Roa Seraphs makes it harder to kill him, but how much value will he get? Well, I suppose with the extra AP from Seraphs and Roa together, because the mana goes into AP when you build Seraphs, of course. It's not awful. I wonder what his next item will be. Will it be something like a Zhonya's for hyper defensive? Questions. 3 items for Hope. The Infinity Edge in for the Jinx now. Well, Hope is online with a hyperscaling carry with a Lulu behind him. That is a problem. Kanavi waiting for the Baron to spawn so we can get the global red buff. Actually, does that count? I think it's only the ones which spawn after. No. It does give it to all of them. Team red buff for Top Esports now. I mean, you do have Jinx Lulu at 3 items for the Jinx. That is scaling heaven. How much can 369 do? He doesn't have grubs. He does have 2.5 items. You can give up another dragon because you took a couple earlier. This might be a slow roll going game from Top Esports where they try and play around the map a little bit more savvy. They can't give up a Baron. That's the thing which they can't give over, really. Shanks. Potentially the target here on the side lane. Jungle support both roamed up there. Tarzan spotted. As is Hung. What's happening elsewhere on the map? Jinx has reset, come back out onto the map. Sante yet to be at that 2 items. He is very anemic. I suppose that's a bonus here for Jaculov, saying, look,
End of the day, the Cassante's not that strong. He's 2,000 gold down. Maybe he doesn't need the Lord Dominant's Regards. If Jackalope can flash beyond him, or actually it's Gnar which takes care of him instead, 369's going to get another turret. The game getting slower, I think, is better for top esports, you know? They're ones which are behind in the game, but they're safely getting access to farm. Anyone's Legend, yes, they are very scary, but where is their win condition? They want to bring top esports to a fight, reset with the Jinx. They really need the Baron. Kanavi spots out Flandre here. Kanavi getting as much farm away from the enemy jungle as possible. The Lee Sin just going to struggle to have so much value. To have any value, rather. Struggle to have any value in this game. Ward spotted there from Kanavi. Shanks in a scary point too, going towards that Seekers. Zhonya's third likely, has the pen boots, the spell slinger's shoes. For a bit of extra flat pan, a little bit of extra hung. Okay, my dude. Maybe trying to bait the fact that they could have been starting it. I think he wanted to show that it was potentially being damaged, so they have to check it. Another ward put down at the back of the pit, this time by Flandre. Anyone's Legends, Siege is too weak. They need the Baron. Exactly. They need that Baron. They don't have side lane presence against the Gnar. Can't really stop Xayah and Orianna wave clearing for forever. They don't have any engage. I think top esports, if they just say, look, we're going to play really slow. We can give you another dragon. We will go late as we need to. Shadow over the wall. Kanavi will spot that. Tarzan walking over a bit more damage. Kanavi still has himself the safeguard. There is a redemption in here. Good poking from Tarzan. Dragon spawning now. I think top esports may well leave well alone here and say, look, we don't want to contest. We just want to set up to the Baron. We can give a dragon, but not the Baron. Flicker Blades in for Jackalope now. 3 items. Does not have himself a pen item. Cream is going towards the Zhonya's on 3. Really wanting to go hyper defensive. Wit's End for Gnar, which means he's so hard to kill in a side lane. Where is that now? Where is he? There he is. Over the wall. Cool. Teleport back in onto the map. Of course, we're yet to see an insect or anything like that coming through from Kanavi. Oh, Hope caught out in the mid lane. Kanavi was thinking about it. A quick wild growth. The quickness was used by Hung. Ghost heal. Wild growth used by Kyle. Jackalope tanks the ultimates at full HP. It doesn't matter that much. 369 trying to get a little bit of damage with the Gnar. Tarzan trying to go through onto that Scuttle Crab. It was still taken by Kanavi. Cream going in. Mega Gnar's not bad. It's a 2v2. And the rest of the team fight will be about whether the Jinx can get the reset. He can't. And actually the redemption coming through. This is a good fight for top esports. I think they can work around this. Jackalope Hung going forwards. The feathers fly. And Anyone's Legend die. 2 kills already, and I think Anyone's Legend have been slow rolled potentially into death. It's on Hope. It's on Hope. Can he do it? He doesn't get the reset. The redemption gives a bit more to play around, but a Kanavi Q will see him into the death screen as well. It's a clean ace from top esports as Anyone's Legend gets slow ground out into the dirt. 5 for none. A clean ace at 30 minutes from behind the game. We said top esports might just play it slowly, and that's exactly what they do. They are the best slow roll team in the LPL, and Anyone's Legend find that out the hard way. Awesome fight from Kanavi and 369, who took the 2v2 on top side and won against the double assassin duo. On the other side, the 3v3 stopped the reset. The smite came in from Kanavi. Tarzan really wanting to get that and thought he could take the big play. Mega Gnar came in. Good CC meant that the Akali didn't get a clean combo, and Shanks couldn't get himself a full kill. They wanted to assassinate the jungler, and Kanavi says, well, screw it. I can jump in. After this point anyway. They just couldn't close down that Lee Sin. I was completely wrong. It was Gnar that jumped in anyway. Ignore me. It's all good. Awesome play by 369. Game saving on the Gnar. Game saving Gnar play. Flash forward for a QW from Cream. Doesn't actually get the value he wants, but hey. The fight continues anyway. I'm gonna clean up. Now they will get the Baron. How much can they do with it? Now there's the last whisper for Jackulov. Jackulov 1,000 gold ahead from nowhere. Hope behind the game. For the first time, well, almost all series, actually. Even in game 1. He had an okay time of things, seem to remember, in terms of gold value. What the heck is that thing on the top of the screen? These things need to go away. I did turn them off. No matter. .369 is so strong on the Gnar now too. Level 17, 5,000 gold lead. He's going to one-shop an item next time he goes back into base. Ridiculous. Huge lead from Top Esports out of nowhere. Kanavi close to a GA. That means he can play so much more brazenly. And anyone's legend, we said, well, they don't have much engaged. They need to play well around objectives. That Baron fight, Tarzan jumping in. Disaster for them. They should not have bought into engaging into Top Esports like that. They don't have the ability to go forwards with this composition very easily. Awesome collection of this game by 369. Full, yeah, folks, you've heard of the one shot. Now get ready for the one shop. A full buy of a Guardian Angel on that back. That's how much gold 369 had in pocket. Kanavi can't be too far off it now either, actually. He's claimed himself a bunch of extra value. Has himself a Hex Drinker in inventory too. 40 seconds till Dragon comes up. Anyone's legend. They will be playing around the Infernal Soul. Now, they've flubbed things around the Baron, but things are still in question around this next objective. Hope is still very, very strong. Hope is very strong. Blue buff claimed for the team of Top Esports. Ghost pops there. The ultimate comes through, but he's not going to be quick enough to escape the quickness. Jungler goes down. And even if the base survives, I think the Dragon will come out in favor of Top Esports after this. The Ghost, I believe, was popped there by Hung in the middle of that play. I was wondering if it was Hope. No, it wasn't. Dragon will be easily taken by 369 on the Gnar. Kanavi will come over to help him with that too. Hope he can try and steal with an ult. That's their one hope. And it's stopped by a Rakan. Dragon claimed. We are in a 6-dragon game. Will it survive to the next one? Not actually sure it will do. Full Lord Dominus regards in for Jackulov, building up to a GA last himself too. I had 1.4k gold out of nowhere. Top Esports slowed down the game and caught that big mistake by anyone's legend. 369. What a series this guy is having. Almost didn't win that last game, but 369 has been demolishing Flandre. He's been given the draft to do so, but he has been taking individual leads, been given a lot of resources, and he has been making a huge impact with it. The only person with a slight gold lead is Shanks, and I'm not really sure he's got the stuff to make this play in this game his own now. Walking up, they don't have any grubs. You have a couple of shields here and there, chunking down the turret. Anyone's legend, their wave clear is basically limited to rockets from the Jinx. And the Jinx can't be everywhere at once. There is a potential of that Rakan Orianna shockwave combo. Wave clear survives, helps AL survive for now. The double assassin duo from anyone's legend looked pretty slick earlier in the game, but you make that one mistake, fall behind it, and this composition looks so hard to play, because, believe it or not, it is. Jackulov's so strong at this point too. I say that, but he needs to be careful. Flashes away. Out of the redemption, but also away from things. The double assassin's doing work now. Reset for Jinx. And it's a mistake by Top Esports this time. Shanks, how much work has he got to do? He has got Zhonya's to go golden. Kanavi jumping in, trying to save his AD carry. 369, it's on you, my friend. How much can you do as the Gnar? Not that much into a team of 5. Lee Sin goes down, and it's a titanic throw. As Jackulov and Hung overstay in the base. A turret will fall. Baron up, rather, in 30 seconds. 369 is very strong, but Top Esports just making a huge, monumental mistake. Anyone's legend threw the game to get Top Esports into the lead, and that might just be a throw to keep anyone's legend in it. Jackulov survives, uses everything, but he survives. GA down now for the Lee Sin. Baron spawning in 5 seconds. 369 will threaten to end the game through bot side. Oh, well, okay. It's going to be a Baron start. A teleport in from Cassante. 369 has found Shanks. If he gets a slow on here, that could be a big problem. He has ult. Might be able to force that for free. Jackal walking over. Has ult in 5 seconds. Baron going down low. Is there a fight to be had afterwards? There is a shockwave coming through. Going lower and lower. Taken by the Zed. Reset for the Jinx off for the objective. That's the GA pop. Dracula using the ult early. The shockwave's not bad. It'll be a full kill. Kyle goes down. Nah on the flank. Has the Mega Nah as well. Wants to get himself some damage down. Goes into Mini. The pullback is good and Jinx dies. It's a trade of 80 carries. No resets this time. And I think Top Esports will be able to walk it down into the Nexus. It's only the Ziggs. It's only the Zed and the Akali. The Akali's so low HP. Has flash money to use it to get out. If anything else lands, that will be a dead Akali. Flash away. Inhibitor respawning. Top Esports. They see the Baron on the other side, but I think they might not give a fuck. They might go towards that inhibitor and try and kill the whole game. Just get towards that Nexus. Where is their wave clear? They don't have those rockets anymore. And I wonder whether 369 can just walk at them. Tarzan, he doesn't have enough damage, and I don't think Shanks does too. Top Esports, they will rule the late game this time. And there will not be enough damage for anyone's legend to match. Let's get into game 4. Here's Giles. Okay, this is a common thing when you have a Jace lane. You leave a ward up here because it means... this is a problem. So typically the team with the Renekton contests for that ward because you need to make sure that Jace can't step into that front bush and step out of it, damage you, then disengage minion aggro by dropping into the brush. This means that 369 is going to get a very good early lane lead. Tarzan will look to try and affect this top lane as best as possible. Remember, folks, this was a first pick Renekton. Anyone's Legend want a stable top lane for Flandre, and I'm not sure he's going to get it. The Jace does beat him in lane. Now, the Jace is very risky. It is a very risky pick. If you get shut down, you very much struggle. The Veigar will help a lot later on. You can see 369 already walking up very early onto the wave. What he wants to do is group up the minions, make sure that they can hit the first minion well, and then he wants to step beyond the wave if he can to take a hard trade onto Flandre and drop the aggro if you can. Bot lane should be fairly even actually. Ziggs Nautilus pretty strong on the whole. Veigar basically zero presence early into the game. Well, Silas needs a little bit of ability to see things through. I think 369 knows that Tarzan is pathing topside, likely. So he wants to make sure that his wave is on his side for when he'll be up there. Now, normally what you do is you crash in the wave early and let it bounce back. I don't know if he's done that very well here, actually. Ooh, good jump beyond the cage there. Might be able to get one Q back onto him. But the cage didn't land. Not bad in terms of auto attack trading back. The last time we saw a Veigar was versus Top Esports by Knight in 2024. We saw a lot more of it in 23. There's a little bit in 24. Not bad damage there, but the Titan's Wrath will tank up most of that damage. Now Tarzan is heading towards topside pretty quickly. 369 will need to be safe in this topside. Where's his first ward of the game? He skipped his wolves. He might go for a quick gang topside. 369 really needs to make sure that he's got a safety spot up there. Kareem missing that Q. It's a little awkward, actually. You should never miss a Q like that onto a, onto a Veigar. Tarzan may well be in top lane a little earlier than 369 wants him to be. Hook out of the crash down. Not bad. Easy hook out of that one. There is a ward now in top river, so Tarzan will be spotted there. Ooh, good trade back there from 369. Gets that short Q onto him. Ooh, flash away. Cream threatening nastily there. Flash down from Shanks. Now, the early lane of Veigar is really rough. You really need to make sure that you get value later into the game when you control an area. What that does mean is that anyone's Legend, typically a team which like to put wards around an objective, back off, and then retake it. That's not their regular style. They want to sit on an objective with the Veigar, fish for cages, there's Nautilus hooks into them. See what works better. Ooh, nice short-range accelerated shock blast. E at the end of it too, using the melee form to start regenning some mana. The hammer form giving you that mana sustain makes Jace really annoying to play against in extended trades. If he gets to hit an entire wave, it's a bunch of mana back. 369. Look how much mana he got back from that. Just like hammer form, giving him almost half a mana bar back there. Hypercharge with some extra auto attacks. Some farm being dropped by Flandre here. Can teleport back up. Hung spotted in mid lane. No flash on Shanks, of course. I don't think there's much angle here. Does Hung know there's no angle, though? That's the problem. Okay, jumps beyond the cage there. Not bad. Doesn't get stunned under turret. That was a little worrying there, actually. Not a bad trade. Certainly worse than it could have been. Better than it could have been, rather, I suppose, for Shanks. Shanks is happily stacking up. 26 right now. Remember, it's 1 AP per stack you see on Veigar's little icon there. Pushing in with the Dark Matter. Ooh, Hope. Oh, I was actually wondering if there'd be a assassination opportunity from 369 there. 369 has a Hope, has a teleport himself. Anyone's Legend running 3 of them. Now, early games typically in this series have gone the way of top esports, specifically around the first dragon, and top esports have had better options available to them. Starting the dragon very early now. 369 freezing the wave up here, understanding that he is on the weak side of the map. Flandre up, going to get zoned off of a bit of farm here. That's nasty for him. Now, the Renekton... Flandre's had some good Renekton games, even on very low score KDA score lines before. Just by being a body in the front line and a CC bot a little later. You can't afford to just be that against the Jace this game, because the Jace can win a game through individual advantage. Well, not great there from Jacqueline. Shouldn't take those free skill shots. Both cleared out. Kanavi Tarzan yet to make an impact in this game. Of course, the most important matchup in this game, I think, really is about this jungle matchup. I say that, weirdly, I think top esports think that top lane is the most important matchup. 369 has been just dealing with Flandre time after time in this series. Flandre really struggling to deal with 369, been given good matchups and a lot of resources. Now, in winter, when these teams played off in the finals of that first split in the year, one of the biggest things about this matchup... Well, hang on a second. There's no flash left on Shanks. The cage goes down. There is a primordial burst available to Cream. Shanks survives. If Cream had hit the E, I think that could have been death there. Kyle did teleport into the mid lane. Both support teleports used. Of course, Cream... the point where he... could threaten. Really wanting to threaten this Veigar early, knowing that the champion does not have much presence on the map until he has many more levels, really, for the wave clear. .369, yeah, really just bullying out this top lane. Has a Dirk first back, wants to go for a pokier build, which makes sense. Now, 369 will need to be... Oh, God, such good skill shot accuracy from him so far. Basically hasn't missed one while he's been on screen. There isn't that much ability to close down the Jace besides a Flash Nautilus ult. Cream still has the Veigar ultimate. Flandre needs to pop the Dominus now. Needs to get an empowered Q for the healing, and does so. He has Flash. They call off the dive. Tarzan could jump in. In fact, I think maybe they should. Good damage onto Cream. Is there a Zigzalt to follow up? There is. He'll flash out of it, though, and this time he doesn't have something like a Shinzo ultimate to save him. Flash forward. Is there a W? No. CC'd. He'll go down. Good... punish by anyone's Legend. Couldn't steal something like that Shinzo ultimate. Now, Shanks is on the wrong side of this fight, really. Some decent damage. Hung under threat now, and he's forced out. Tarzan gets the knock up on the crash down, and Hung drawn and quartered. Shanks gets himself his first kill of proceedings. 101, 70 stacks, basically an extra needlessly large rod in terms of AP, and anyone's Legend will pull ahead in the early game. Does 369 feel like he can contest? I think he should do. Good root there. There's still the flag drag. There's still a little bit of damage in 369, trying to burst out. That's decent Jhin damage coming through. The grubs finally finished off, but there's not enough escape potential now. 2 kills going back. 2 for 2 in this topside fight, really, at the end of things. Jakilov's roots, very important to the play. 369. Good burst there on the Jace, too. Ooh, E landing. I'm not sure there's that much to follow up with. 2-1 in terms of grubs. First time in the series where we've not had the full set go to one team or the other. Can he deny the cannon? Yes, he can, because he is a bully. 369. Really getting quite scary here. Flandre did get a kill in that. Yes, nasty. But if Jace gets gold, things get pretty problematic. Cream, a little bit fast and loose on the E. There is still a flash available on Hope. Oh my god, some good damage there. Just have the Ziggs ult to throw at him if he wants to. Cream, of course, dying in that first play. Had the Veigar ultimate, couldn't use it. Couldn't use the Shinzo ultimate to protect himself in that last play. The tab in for Flandre does help a little bit with the matchup. Quite a lot, in fact. The move speed to chase down for extra auto attacks or Qs. Reduction of damage on the hypercharge of Bully. Tarzan, great angle here. They managed to spot out the dive well enough in advance to get huge CC here. Yes, there was a flash away from the Ziggs ultimate, but Cream has nothing left. The flash forward from Kyle. No ability to make it out of that. I suppose you could have turned around with a Cataclysm. But Tarzan charging up the Q to make sure he could cancel out the crash down. Wind becomes lightning, crash down cancelled. Awesome play from Tarzan, one of the best Shinzao players in the world. Gifting a kill over towards the Veigar. Love the replay tech there. That was some 3D terrain. Of course, after this point, things get nasty. Navi flashed out. 369, Jakilov punishing low-off members. Dragon alive now. Top East was looking to stack their second one. Cream going in on the Veigar, doing very well in the extended lane. W missing that. Shanks has the Ignite from Spellbooks, and that's a confirmation that he has Spellbook. Of course, Veigar used to run that before it was powerful. Now it's even better. Can they stop the recall? I think perhaps they... Oh, it's close. They stop it with the Ziggs ultimate. Nautilus ult lands. Can 369 get the ult onto Flandre? Nautilus ult used. I think 369 might just be dead. Flash traded for Flash. The Jace will go down on the 1v4 on the side lane. Now, this is dangerous. You do have multiple people on this side lane turret, and there's a Ziggs satchel charge. This won't really be a race. Someone needs to teleport up and save this turret. The Ziggs satchel will make this not a race. The wave does die. We will do on the other side, though. Are there any teleports to answer? 369 could teleport in 10 seconds, but I don't think that's the right decision. Flandre could teleport to the other side of the map, I suppose. Another wave comes in. And we'll go back to whacking those turrets. Hope going through with that fast fuse passive. Yes, there's a Jarvan Demacian standard. Anyone's Legend will get themselves, very likely though, first turret, and they'll get themselves the feats of strength off of that. Yeah, they will. Anyone's Legend get themselves that extra little added bonus. Early gold lead for Anyone's Legend now. The Ziggs getting a lot of gold. Flandre pulling ahead now in the matchup, I'd believe, with the extra gold. About even. All right, going towards the Stride Breaker as well, by the way. Kanavi spooked by Kyle moving around. Didn't know if there's any follow-up behind him. Cream has some difficult choices this game. All 5 ultimates seem OP. I tend to agree. I think every single ultimate has its use. Even the Dominus for the extra survivability can be useful at points. Are they fighting for a world ticket or what? So if Anyone's Legend win, they go to Worlds. Top Esports, if they win, it's not quite simple. They need to win finals to make Worlds. The winner of this goes to face BLG in the finals. BLG have already locked Worlds. If BLG were to lose finals, they go through on championship points. If they win, they go through as first seed. Even if these teams don't auto-qualify, they will go through to the regional qualifiers to join Invictus Gaming, Weibo, and JDG waiting for them down there. Reckler will just about walk out in time then. Has the Collector into the Swiftness boots. 369, full Ghost Blade up. This isn't a bad game to be a poke composition for Top Esports, actually. It's not like Anyone's Legend have great amount of tank. They have the Redemption for sustain, that's it. And Ziggs is a good poke bot himself, but he can't do everything himself, you know? Yep. The winner of this goes to face final BLG in the finals tomorrow. The LPL finals are tomorrow, folks. Then after that, in the coming days, we will have the regional finals. The regional qualifiers, where we will qualify an additional 2 teams to the World Championship. Weibo JDG will be in the lower bracket. They will have to win 2 best-of-5s back-to-back to make it. However, either Top Esports or AL will be facing off against Invictus Gaming. Hung should be safe here. Dodge down that hook. Q-back gets a little bit of damage down. 369 doesn't have flash. Just needs to be a little careful in situations like this. Jace is very easy to shut down. You make minute mistakes and things start to get very nasty for you. Shanks pushing in, sorry, Cream pushing in bot side. I really need those. I need those things to go on top of the screen. I have no idea where they come from. I tried to turn them off. Hey-ho. I'm reminded that 4th seed, which will be, I believe, the 2nd seed out of regionals, will play against the 4th seed of LCK for a place in the tournament proper. They'll play up against they'll play 1 best-of-5, and the winner goes on to the main stage. I believe there's no play-in stage for Worlds anymore. I believe that's the case. Herald started even in gold now, these 2 teams. Kanavi heading over the wall. Hope waiting for a chance to dunk down, hopefully with the Nautilus on top of him. Good ward out there. Kanavi needs to be careful. We'll dodge away from that. And it's now in the cage. It's a bit problematic, actually. Trying to stop the engage coming through. Great counter punch from Hung. Means that the combo's not easy. Flandre will go in, make himself a problem in the backline. 369 is doing a ton of damage, and there's no flash on the Renekton. That's a problem. The cage wears off. Hung going to die in the backline most likely, but it's only the supports. Scream going in, getting great value from the extra healing from the Kingslayer. Tarzan, very low HP. Flash away from Tarzan now. 369, very, very strong. And the curtains are called. 1-shot lands. 2-shot hand lands onto Shanks. 3. And the 4th one flashed away from Cream. Potentially looking for the extra kill. The cage will go to block off the extra bit. Hope will take down Jackalope in the midst of it. Hope has a flash and he'll make it out. Assassination complete. Great play from the little Ziggs. 2-0-3 for him. 3-0-2 for Shanks. Anyone's legend. I thought they were going to cleanly lose that fight. After the intro to that play, it didn't work out well for them. But Hope's having a great series. We'll watch this again, because this looked scary at first. The hook missing, though, puts things into a bit of trouble. Hung flashing in to make sure there's a big engage, to make sure that it's not just Kanavi burst out. Flandre does go in and get a big trade onto him. Shanks uses the ult to kill him. Things get messy here, though, because the fight gets split. The cage stops Jackie and 369 getting clean kills here. They do end up getting the Renekton. W lands. You can see how much value Shanks and Hope get at buying space. Hope Jackalope walks through a minefield a little bit. Gets hit by a skill shot there. Does go towards the 4th shot. Last auto, the fast fuse. Jackalope just massively underestimating the Ziggs damage. 2-0-2 him. 2-1-2 himself, though. Not unhappy. Dragon started. Flag drag away. The poke coming in from 369. Jackalope walking down. Kyle spotted in the brush there. Cream walking forwards, trying to go onto the Renekton. He does have flash. The Dominus stolen by Cream for a little bit of extra damage, and I don't think that Renekton is going to survive much longer. 1 more E from Cream, and the Silas starts to be a real big problem. And that is massive damage from the Jace. Goes into the choke point. Hope wants to 1v1 and will find it, but at the cost of his own life. But the hero of this fight is Cream. The lactose tolerance club, oh my god, the lactose tolerance club springs forth anew. Awesome game so far from Cream in the last fight or 2 on this Silas. His Silas was always fantastic back on OMG 2023. The Dragon, will it be stuck around to be killed? Will anyone stick around for that? No, I don't think so. Flandre caught out very early on. Had the flash. Cream gets the E down onto him, steals the Dominus, and by the way, it does have a nice AP scaling on it. It's like 0.1 AP per second, which, well, Silas uses a little better than the Renekton on the whole. Right here, Jackalope goes for a 1v1 on Hope. How the heck does that 1v1 work up there? I mean, oh, Jackalope flashes and doesn't dodge anything. He late flashes and gets hit, and then gets killed by the fast fuse. Dancing Grenade does make things 1-for-1, though. Not a great flash, though, from Jackalope. Tried to reaction flash, couldn't quite get it. Dragon is still alive, of course. Gold lead, still minimal to nothing, really. Spending 500 gold doesn't matter too much. Anyone's Legend really want to control choke points. Top esports want to work their way around the Veigar zone control. The shock blasts help. That's going to be a bit of a problem. The flag and drag cancelled out on by the cage. The dunk is okay. Redemption traded for redemption. Jungler down. Kyle having to flash out. That's likely Dragon going over, but their HP bars are a little low on Kyle. I suppose one hook could be the end of it. Hung's pretty low too. I think top esports, they might just have to lose this one. They wanted the early soul point, the third one. They won't get it. Top esports do not get themselves a cross map. Trying to steal the shock blast. Not able to do so. Really good punish there with the hook into the cage, forcing Kanavi into a much worse situation. Atakan is spawned now. 700 gold lead for Shanks, who's gone for the Crypt Bloom second. Gives you some pen and some cooldown reduction. Doesn't have something like a death cap, which you really do need on the Veigar at some point in your build. 200 stacks, by the way. Very good stacking for Shanks. 10 a minute or just about. Top esports would have really liked to get themselves that third dragon, the Infernal one, to threaten an Infernal Soul point later into the game. Jackalow has gone for the Fire Cannon. I don't mind it in this game because you have to somehow compete with the range of Ziggs and outstep something like a Veigar cage. Can matter quite a lot there. The move speed means a lot too, actually. .369, not that far ahead overall. But he is about to get himself his Muramana power point for the Jace. He'll have that on his next recall. Cream about to get Riftmaker, of course. Scary point for the Sylas. I think Sylas could get to a point in this game where he can solo win some team fights. Herald being started. I don't think top esports want to contest for this one. Jackalow backing will signify that as well. Free Herald to anyone's Legend. Top esports. Not willing to give a fight over this one when they don't have good positioning. Anyone's Legend, if they get area of the map control for themselves, they are so scary. That's gone started up now. Jace will have to back off. So 369 needs to back, get the buy-in, and then teleport in. So he's going to be a little bit delayed. How else is anyone else going to make it up here? There are some wards around. 369, what's the best teleport location? He can teleport to the flag. That might be the best thing, teleporting a little bit further away. He's not going to be in here to get much poke down. Shinzo ultimate stolen for Cream. That's not bad for him. Is Cage okay? Stop some people, and Cream starts the fight. Hunger follows in afterwards. The dunk coming in soon. That's going to be the Atakan stolen by Kanavi. There's another 2 kills afterwards too. Yes, it's going to be a death for Hung, but the damage is done. And Tarzan puts out the Herald to try and be an escape car. I don't even know if it's going to be enough. Great damage from Tarzan. Back onto 369, and the bomb will kill him. Jackalow not able to land the roots. Herald is wasted in this. It ends up being, what, a 2 for 2 overall in terms of kills. But the Atakan taken for top esports and the Herald wasted for anyone's Legend. Anyone's Legend losing a big objective they could have used to charge into mid lane with the Ziggs. Top esports will take that. They will take that. Cream, I think he makes a really good decision taking the Shinzo ult here and just saying, look, this fight has to start. Bit of an alley-oop, pops the ultimate, make sure that Flandre can't immediately go onto him, waste Flandre's E. Kanavi comes in, Hung comes in, and yes, Hung ends up dying, but he's done his job alongside Cream. Shanks blows his flash as well. They are lucky to get out with this one. 369 gets absolutely turbo exploded, though, by 369. He was not expecting that damage at all. This game is very, very close, folks. Still within 200 gold. Dragon spawning in a minute and a half. The Atakan giving some value to top esports, which is not seen on the gold. Hope is playing very well on the Ziggs right now, I will say. Shanks very threatening on the Veigar. 5-1 and 4, 240 stacks. Almost, that's, yeah, you know, that's a crazy amount of AP being bought up by that. Not bought up, but stacked up. 369 seeing if he can get himself any more poke in before the fight. Now under a minute until the next one. Tarzan finding out Hung. Pops the ghost from his spellbook. Bit more poke onto him too. You gotta keep an eye on that, Hung. 369. Trying to see if he can get himself any poke onto Xin Zhao. Does do a little bit. Not a crazy amount. A little bit. Dragon now in under 30 seconds. The top esports say... Okay, top esports, I think with that chunk onto Hung, I think they say, look, let's just trade some gold. Tarzan getting this turret, weirdly. I'm surprised that he's the one getting the gold here. Hope will get some as well, but shared between 3 people locally. Cream gets solo gold on topside. That is important. We've seen how powerful the Silas can be in previous fights. Can get himself another item. He is very, very happy. Cosmic Drive potentially for him. Dragon spawning now. Top esports. Well, It could teleport in with the Silas. The Veigar just turned up topside. Ooh, standard gives some vision. Shockwave lands, but it's tanked up by the shield of Kyle. 369's poke not being fantastically valuable here. They're jumping forwards. They're not in position just yet. And the Veigar's not here. Hope flashes out. Kanavi going low, but not down yet. Jackie Love flashing forwards. Of course he flashes forwards. It's Jackie Love getting himself the kill onto the enemy AD carry. Flandra making a mess of things where the curtains have been called. And Cream will be coming out of his golden stasis. Tarzan, how much can he do? He can get 1 kill onto the AD carry and Cream will have to retreat. Cream, how much healing has he got? He needs another W. He'll get it. Dashing backwards. Tarzan saving the fight. The Xin Zhao, magnificent damage despite the fact that Tarzan couldn't protect his AD carry. He could go and kill the enemy one, and that will buy them another dragon. Top esports falling down at the hands of this magnificent Xin Zhao performance. Cream will get himself another turret here, most likely, but top esports cannot get themselves the fight or the dragon. Turret goes down. Kyle will get himself a hook there. Does have a heal if he really wants to force a play through here, but Cream will have another E up now. I thought for sure that would be a top esports win because Annual's Legend weren't in position. Veigar was very slow to this play, and Kanavi gets a great flag and drag onto Hope. Full combo, the Exhausted come through, triple dunk. Hung following up after. Veigar doesn't enter this fight until so much later. And then they struggle to disengage. 369 struggling to teamfight through here as well, despite how much gold he's had. Very much struggling to make things work. Cream going towards the Zonya's next, by the way. Of course, he went the golden in that fight. Not something like the Cosmic Drive. I'm worried that 369 is not getting any value in these fights. 369, the MVP of that last game. If this Jace, with all the pressure put onto him from the draft, saying, look, you need to get ahead of the Renekton. Well, not need to, but you to be a champion, you need a good lead, right? Always need that on the Jace. He's behind gold now against Flandra, and Flandra's actually had some very good team fights. Jack Love ahead 800 gold, has the Infinity Edge. That's scary. Tarzan doesn't land that Wind Becomes Lightning on him on that last fight. Perhaps things go very differently. Baron is alive. Very even in gold. This is knife's edge stuff, folks. 369 still has his teleport. Maybe going towards the Cyrilda's next. Death Cap almost in for both Veigar and Ziggs. Once Shanks gets that, his damage will be obscene. I think once this Veigar gets towards Death Cap, I think this game is very, very hard to play for top esports. It's a 10-stack Dark Steel as well. I just don't see how you survive that burst. Top esports will need to take fights away from objectives at that point. Find individual picks. Death Cap there for the Ziggs. Not in for the Veigar just yet. But likely not far behind. Level 16 for Shanks too. Primordial Burst will have extra sting to it. Kanavi may need to dash over the wall, and does so. Not bad damage though from Tarzan. Doing quite well at the Xin Zhao to just jump in and just chunk someone out a little bit. God, he's almost one-shotting melee creeps. That's insane. Insanity. Insanity. Of course, there's the double Infernal Soul there too. Infernal Dragons, not double Soul. Double Infernal Dragons. Flandra, alone on sideline, just uses E. That would have been the time to go, you know. Ah, and he spots them. He hasn't got Flash. Gets exhausted. There is a redemption. He's going to get punted out of it, and there'll be a redemption for damage on the other side. 369 doing his best to try and get some extra damage down there. The Zigzag will tag 369, and the pick attempt is not that fantastic. There's a teleport for Flandra if they really needed to get that much in there. Kanavi, did he just blow his flash? I believe he did. I'm not sure why I caught exactly where I caught that, but where that happened rather. You see that? 369 can't one-shot Flandre. That's a problem. He doesn't have any armor pen right now. That's a problem. .369 teleporting back out onto the map. Top Esports doing a good job of pushing up across all lanes right now. Jakilov has a Hex Drinker, will help him a little bit, of course. I will say, Moramel Mortius does not save you that much against a Veigar ultimate. Because if you're low enough to get hit by good damage from the Veigar ult, the Moor Shield is going to be pretty bad. Tarzan wrapping around the back of the Baron pit for now. Silas has the full Zhonya's. There is a death cap for the Veigar. Hung will spot Tarzan right now, and that is bit of a problem. When it becomes lightning, did tag onto him. He could dodge over the wall. Shanks, that's the Zigzag, and Hung has been caught out. Hung out to dry. Support down. Kanavi jumping forwards. He's not going to get rooted, is Tarzan. Nautilus all coming back. He doesn't have flash. That could be a problem, and the Veigar all follows him. The flag drag only takes him into the grave. Jakilov now having to flash back. Cream now into the backside though. How much can the Silas do? This needs to be a big fight for top esports. Cream flashing over the cage, and the Silas and the Jhin come to play. A triple kill. Jakilov, can he get Jin's favorite number at 369? Perhaps the Shock Blast could get the kill. Won't stick around for it. How much more do they think they can do? Cream and Jakilov clean up the fight, and they'll go towards the Baron. For all the death caps look so good for anyone's legend. They cannot deal with the backline, and the Baron will be top esports. Anyone's legend on death's door in the series, and now potentially in this game. They'll take the Baron, and worth noting, they will not go towards the Dragon quickly. They choose the Baron instead, and they'll have to give up positioning on what could be a third Infernal Dragon for anyone's legend. You know, the initial play onto Kanavi is pretty good, but it takes a flash forward from Veigar. And then suddenly, there's no flash for the Veigar. He sticks around a little longer. The cage is down. And then you have to deal with flashless carry against a rampaging Silas with 3 items in the backline, who is more than suited for dealing with the late game fight. So we need to go back to live. What's happening with this Infernal Dragon? Flandre, of course, used that flash last time too. What's happening with the Dragon? Please get us out of the replay. We need to see what's happening here. I'd imagine anyone's legend have decent positioning on it. No, it's actually top esports should take it. All right, that's important to know. Kanavi back alive. They managed to get themselves their third Dragon. Jakilov and Cream, great damage from the both of them. 2,000 gold lead for Jakilov now. Has a full Maw building towards a GA. Cream going towards a Banshee, so we'll have both defensive items on top of some HP from the Proto Belt and the Riftmaker. Anyone's legend, you would have thought they were in a prime position to take over this game, or they had taken over the game. You would have thought they'd be in prime position to lock it out, though. There's so much zone control from the Ziggs and the Veigar. Minefield in one way, cage in the other. Jakilov is doing so much damage. Hung caught again. Might have to flash at Hung. He has had a bad game. He flashes away, but it means nothing. A flash forwards. Hung has delivered Tarzan to his AD carry. What have you done? Oh, Hung, what a mistake. Kanavi does have the Flag Dragon, the Cataclysm, but Hung, a poor game from him. He's had a good split, but not great looking from the support, which has switched around from Weibo to top esports in this split. It's just the one kill onto Hung, and then the second one onto Jakilov, excuse me. Anyone's legend. Of course, they see the Baron buff on the other side for top esports. Won't matter too much, though. They'll take a mid lane outer turret. Oh, Hung, you can't play like that against a... Well, I'm not sure Kanavi can play like that either, actually, here. There's enough cooldown reduction now. Get a second flag drag out pretty quickly. Kanavi still poking around the flank. Still has that flash Cataclysm. Cream dodges out in that one skill shot. No, he doesn't, actually. Explodes at the end. Ooh, good damage there. There we go. Cyril's in for 369. Flag drag missing from Kanavi. Okay. Ooh, good damage onto Cream, who has to go golden. What ult can he steal? Can he steal anything? The W doesn't matter. Cream is down. A pick onto him. Top esports, multiple individual mistakes after they were in position. Both of the teams in the lead have struggled, and now the Baron buff is going to lead to nothing. They're down 2,000 gold. What happened here? He just face checks. He face checks, gets hit by the E of the Veigar. Massive mistake here from Cream, who was doing so well in this game before that. Anyone's Legend, using their CC to great effect. Oh boy, both of these teams struggling when in the lead, weirdly. The game will slow down now, likely decided by the next objective spawns, the Dragon and the Baron. Cream, oh Cream, was playing so well before that point. Not quick enough on the reactions against that cage coming out of Fog of War. Hope has a Void Staff now. 369. Down 1,000 gold almost as well. Barrier used by Shanks there to get round to his next spell in the spellbook. I guess he wanted. I didn't see what it was covering. Perhaps his teleport. Going topside. Ooh, Zigzalt tags onto both of them. Now there's going to likely be a reset coming in for the two of them. Of course, the Zigzalt at level 16 has a much lower cooldown. Damn, that W cooldown is insane. Every 50 stacks, you do get more cooldown on your Dark Matter, by the way, and he's at 376. So that's an extra 7 increments of that W cooldown. Jackulov regenning a little bit. Cream has a Banshees now. That could be very important. No GA for Jackulov just yet. He wants to build up towards that, of course. Has that Steel Sigil in inventory. 369. Pops the Ghost Blade just in case there was a move from Kyle with the hook towards him. Onivia going towards a more Malmortius too, but he is so squishy as the Jarvan here now. Hung and Kanavi really in quite a lot of threat in these fights. They have to give up control of bot river. Do they want to give up a third Infernal Dragon? It wouldn't be the soul. Maybe they just have to play opportunistically, but to me, if you give up control of the area around the dragon, surely you just lose the objective. But what is their plan? What is their plan? Do you have to engage into the minefield? You can see that Anyone's Legend are a little bit split right now. Some shielding coming through onto Flandre from the upgraded Tabby. Hung changing away from his lens. I think because he's got Flash coming up now. Kanavi spotted out on the blue trinket. Good awareness from Anyone's Legend, understanding that there was a flank angle available. Al pops. Ooh, there was some. Was that damage? Are they going to stop it? They're going to stop it with the Redemption. 369 didn't spot it. His eyes were on the shop. And the Dragon's going to go down. 369 would have had to recall and teleport back in. The Ziggs presumably got a huge amount of damage from the ultimate. Hope has been superb in this series. Even in a 2-1 deficit in the series, he has been fantastic. What happens here? He just gets hit by a 369, man. That was on full vision. Gets hit by the Zigzalt too. That was on full vision, that bomb. You must be aware of the poke coming in. Poke in a game like this matters so much, and that was an easy one to land. Gosh, that one bouncing bomb changing the setup for the fight so much. 369, very little defensive stats. More now built up for Kanavi. And it looks like we're going all the way to the Baron. It might be going towards all the way to a 7-dragon game. There's no magic resist on 369. Any skill shot he's hit by is going to hurt him so much. Cream, recalling in bot side, has teleport. Walking his way towards top side right now. Anyone's Legend doing very well at taking an area and fighting over it now. I'm really worried that 369 is just not going to have any value. He's struggled to this game, not got a lane lead. The poke has not meant that much. He's been poked out instead. Jackulov, Jesus Christ, a third of the HP gone. Jackulov does have a little bit of lifesteal. That was through the, he does have magic resist from the Mora Malmortius. It's not bad stuff. Jackulov can regen a bit of health. And in fact, he'll be almost back to full again. He's not the best target for the Ziggs poke, because he does have a little bit... Ooh, put by Q there, flashing forward. Cream trying to get on the Hope, and he kills the Ziggs! Ziggs is down! Artillery off the table. Shanks goes golden. He has a flash, but how much can he do after that? It's not bad, actually. 369 needs to get the AoE, but he's stopped. He stopped. That Shanks can't turn around the damage. Cream, Jackulov, both alive still. The flag and drag sees Kanavi into the fight again, and Top East will finally clutch the fight. Cream killing one carry. Jekyllov with a triple kill to end off the fight. Top Esports may have sent anyone's legend to an early grave. Perhaps no silver scrapes today. Anyone's legend, our champions from last split, felled by the team which beat them in their first finals. Top Esports will set up a date with BLG tomorrow to raise the Silver Dragon Cup. Anyone's legend will have to wait for Worlds. Top Esports march forwards and end the series 3-1.